Ну, как бы, ну, мне кажется, это ошибочно так думать, что вот
This guy was a top 20, almost a top 10 rifle player at times. And there are moments, there are maps I've seen when Breezy just goes off and he's unplayable. You can't handle him at all, right? On the T side especially. And
ну что, оставляем этот пик, ребят. У меня сомнения.
now he's below average, like not even close to the peak he hit earlier. And heading into the major, even in the win they had against Extreme, he was okay. He wasn't too spectacular, right?
He changed a couple of positions, and that's the problem that I have, and it may be
so far. Like, this guy was spectacular, right?
He changed a couple of positions, and that's the problem that I have, and maybe it's a problem of how they perceive themselves as a team. When I hear that Breeze is actually leaving space for other players, trying to adapt, changing positions, I kind of want him not to do that. Well, when you have that talent, when you have that explosive firepower, trying to take the space, be the guy, say, listen, I want to play these positions. I'm sure if I'm here and there, you know, enabling other people rather than focusing on himself.
Yeah, well, we've got the veto. We can find out what positions he's likely to be taking. Let's take a look at the maps. Obviously, remember, if you're just tuning in, best of ones today.
You said it, Blay. You had it coming. You said Dust 2 was on the cards.
Said it'd be Dust 2 or Inferno, and it is Dust 2.
I thought, you know, if given the option of either Inferno or Dust 2 coming in for EG, they would have definitely potentially gone for Inferno. But yeah, Inferno getting banned on my face, I like that. Coming in from Karrigan, it's like, well, screw you guys. You know, you're not going to be playing Dust 2. Sorry, you're not going to be playing Inferno, a map that... Look, there's no map EG are very good at right now. Let's be real. But Inferno is a bit more of a comfort map, right? But heading into Dust 2, historically, they've shown they can play it. So yeah, this.
I mean, look, my feel is here. Actually, Dust 2 might not be the worst map for EG. It's no secret. Stan took a lot of time out recently. We don't know how well they're going to be prepared. They've been changing staff behind the scenes. You know, you've got Breezy took some time as well, and he's just returning. Dust 2. I mean, you want to. It's the mac and cheese of Counter-Strike, isn't it? It's there, it's comfortable, you run around, you know all the angles, you know all the... So if there isn't that tactical cohesiveness there, they might be able to style this out.
Yeah, and you might look at the win rate last 3 months, and spoiler, that's 0%, so it's not great. But a couple of games, they actually did put up a fight. We're talking 13-16 against FaZe, you know, 11 rounds against Astralis, 12 against Mad Lions. It's not too bad. I'll just circle back to my issue with Zerg, right? I know rifle in his hands, he can make a difference. I kid you not, he has the potential to make the difference with the rifle. But Dust 2 is the one map I need my AWPer to make a difference. This is where you expect him to give you rounds, literally give you rounds. Any team, any opponent makes a mistake, a flash is missing, a smoke is missed, insta-kill, you play from the car, you make that difference. Zerg can do it with the rifle, I just haven't seen it with the AWP. So now you go up against Brokey again, I fail to see how that matchup is going to work out.
He's going to be balanced. No, he's going to be picking up the AWP for sure. The question is, can he deliver, right? And looking at that Dust 2 game FaZe had against Ence, even if you ignore the fact that Karrigan just went Super Saiyan 3 in the final few rounds there, the team looked amazing. Brokey was delivering, was doing his job at the AWP. Rain was everywhere. We had Twist, as usual, having some crazy highlight moments
secondary
as well.
AWPer as well on that B side.
Secondary AWPer as well. Who's going to be secondary AWP? I mean, Dust 2 can be a map when you have the double AWP setup coming onto the CD side. You can just completely lock it down. I don't even think EG have a secondary AWP right now.
They don't have a primary, so.
Well, look, I don't want to be all doom and gloom talking about EG. I think it's only fair we do talk about some good aspects to them. Mihu and Obo, I think, you know, I really liked Obo in Complexity. He's a young kid. It was a difficult situation. He felt he had to get out of there and spend some time home. Look, who can't identify with that? With the 2 years we've all gone through across the planet. Indeed. You know, I think he's found his feet in EG. I don't think he is sort of part of the grand failure. And Mihu, I talked about him, I can't remember, it was on day 2, this lost generation of Polish players.
That's the point.
That, you know, got scattered to the 4 winds, that realistically, there's 5 wicked Polish players out there that could all be playing together.
I mean, if we could jump into a time machine, there are a couple of players in Poland that could have taken the VP train a bit earlier on, and God knows what would have happened. If you have a man like Mihu with his talent that would have jumped at that time and then have that experience at the highest level. Because when you look at him play, it is definite that he's got a sense for the game, he's got a talent, he's very aggressive,
he makes the best thing about this team.
He is great to watch. But again, I feel like his career has just been a nightmare of unlucky timings where he joins teams and struggling, join another team struggling. He's doing his very best individually speaking. But all these these failures, if I can, call it like that, it takes a chip off of you. Like, it shatters down your motivation, your confidence, and that is why I'm a little bit worried for Mihu and his ability to shine today.
Black, final thought?
Yeah, I'm just gonna echo what Mainak mentioned right there. It's a team where you had Stanislaw coming in as the IGL, Daps coming in as the coach. Imagine Daps and Stan working together in one team. Then Daps left for that anime game, then he came back again. It's like, no, I prefer Counter-Strike, rightfully so, Daps. And here we go, right? Like, I feel the lack of proper one firm voice when it comes to leadership is why these potential stars haven't been able to perform. Maybe it might change here.
Dear guys, I'm more invested in a 0-3 than I am in like anything else.
Yeah, who is going to be the 0-3 team? I mean,
scared.
everyone has EG, but the thing is we're going to find out pretty quickly. I mean, the Pickens has just been locked in.
There are
There's no going back.
There are so many variables. The data we have, like map-wise, is utterly useless. I think some of their players were unhappy with being away from home for so long. So you have to wonder about the mental psyche. Richard mentioned the breaks and so on. We just don't have the data, man. I'm even trying to think like two teams are going to go 0-3. Who's the other team? Some people have picked Mouse. Some people. I ended up leaving it an EG. But I'm terrified. I have no idea what's going on.
Yeah, it's really interesting. There's so many different possibilities of different things that can happen. I mean, it's really exciting because I was saying to James off camera, in reality with CS, it's a game of having really good fundamentals, having great cohesion and synergy, doing the basics extremely well, and being consistent with all of that. And so many teams are in flux right now. It's really difficult to predict, but that's actually making it so exciting at this phase because there's so few guarantees. And FaZe, I mean, it's a team where I last second switched them to my 3-0, actually. Yeah. Last seconds off of Copenhagen Flames. It's so hard. But we're going to see their form as well in this best of one. I think that's definitely a good place for EG to find themselves. I think it's honestly the best case.
However, of course, we have that change in T-Spawn, and that is a significant change because it gives the CTs a lot more leeway to make some outrageous plays, as we saw from from Karrigan rather, recently on Dust 2, and Stanislaw or Stanisław for the Poles will be keeping the CTs honest and trying to make sure that nothing's going on. But again, one thing I think about that change, I think it's gone a bit too deep in that it's harder to get on. I don't think you can get on that box anymore, where you could hop up and have an AWP spot in those boxes, which would allow you to keep an eye on short as well, because from T-Spawn, of course, you cannot see short. So Evil Genius is a giant question mark. We don't know what their prep's been like. We don't know how they're feeling coming into this. I was looking on Google News search to try and find an interview with them. I couldn't find one on HLTV. So they're going to have to answer all our questions on the server.
Well, so far, very slow opening from EG. I see Brokey taking a look on Catwalk. So at this point, FaZe have all the info, and it's going to be very difficult for Evil Geniuses to break this B defense because everybody's basically here. The flank is coming as well. They have to hit the shots very quickly, and so far it's not looking all that great there. Just Breeze remaining, and he will get taken down as well. EG made to look foolish in the opening rounds here in this best of one.
Some people have commented that, of course, the teams in the challenger stage will be coming into this hot, as they've had a lot of CS to play. And I'm sure that the other teams would have been scrimming each other as well, but of course it isn't the same. You don't have that pressure. You can be more aggressive than you may otherwise be in scrims and just try things that you wouldn't normally. The PCWs, the Practice Clan Wars. Oh, there's a miss Molotov. No harm done though. Brokey has the angles. Starters, you mean to go on FaZe Clan. So again, Evil Geniuses will be taking it slowly. Circ's on the Scout, and the Scout can be a nice warm-up for the AWP later on as well. The increased movement speed. This Scout will be telling of what we can expect in this game to come.
And the Grebo Catwalk, very typical. Playing for that plant on the A site. So far, FaZe are being very patient, and they don't really have to be all that aggressive in finding information here. The move up Catwalk is spotted by Karrigan. Just going to plant himself on the site, and that with that smoke can just stay in position with the MP9. Oh no! Up on the box, Cirque ready for that one, and that's going to prevent them from being able to hold the site. And oh my goodness! Okay, Breeze with another headshot now makes this round look actually winnable. Oh! But there's a double from Twist as they go for the plant. Absolutely denied. Breeze last player standing. Oh my God! Breeze! With the Deagle, where did that come from?
I wondered if they would wait for the smoke to go, but hey, that is quite the statement from Evil Geniuses. They are ready, and you have to land those headshots with the Deagle. Breeze making it look easy. That is a fantastic second round from Evil Geniuses. Went way further than we could expected. The double HE as well, and they still turn it around with the Desert Eagles. And now Twist will be on the scout for FaZe Clan. Well, that's promising. You know, I really didn't want to put EG in 0-3. I really didn't. Even with the lack of information, I just thought the best of ones is like it's the perfect storm. Oh, and a Karrigan now looking to get some revenge with the Desert Eagle. But the problem is, I just don't know who else to put. Like, there's no obvious choice. There's no really obvious choice. Some people would say Mouse, but, you know, that's only part of the audience. Breeze will get his bell rung as well. So this is not really going the way Evil Geniuses were hoping for, but he will be able to retain the map control. Brokey making it to the car position.
There's a deep cat smoke. Oh, okay. Some damage can definitely still be done here by the Scout on Twist and Deagle and Brokey, but it looks like EG are doing a good job to avoid them. Moving towards that very open B site. This game is already just wild. Some of the shots that the two teams are exchanging here on the server is certainly impressive. I mean, that round though from Breeze, unbelievable. The back and forth in kills and the way in which he won that. Given how we've seen the Deagle look all week, that was just extremely unexpected, because we've been seeing many a whiff, James, in the previous stage with the Deagle. Many a whiff.
We saw loads of whiffs with the Deagle. Like, it's the headshot or it's nothing in 80% of cases, I would say, at this point. You're just not going to have, like, your window of opportunity is so small in a professional match. You've got to land that headshot, and Breeze is ready for him. It's coming relaxed, but very sharp indeed. That's a promise. He's a man with many highlights under the EG banner, and there's another one for him. But we're all looking at that result. I would love to know the percentage of pick'ems that would be wrecked, like the 0-3, if EG win this BO1.
Yeah, they have to be one of the most commonly chosen 0-3 teams. I think, what was the other one we were talking about? That would be Mouse Sports. A lot of people picking Mouse Sports as well for that 0-3 slot. Very difficult to put the team in there, but I mean, EG definitely, it has to be the most picked 0-3. Well, into the next round we go, and not too much to work with here for FaZe. Yet again, of course, on that save. Scouts and Deagles remaining. Oh, Karrigan does get some damage there, but Obo survives.
Yeah, I don't expect too much trouble for EG in this round. But these rounds are good just to see where the coordination lies. You know, they like the slow-paced and methodical start to these rounds. That's what we've seen early on. Simple stuff, simple but effective. Smoke grenade on the corner of long to isolate the fights. Brokey finds himself looking for an M4s now. There'll be no AWP in this round for either squad. AKs and Galils versus 5 silenced M4s. Normally we would see, you know, I say normally, but before the M4 update, we would see a mix. But mostly M4A4s, but just 5 silenced M4s on deck.
I don't know, I'm feeling bad about my 0-3 choice now, James.
But who else do you go to? That's
I know.
Like, it's a perfect storm.
It is very difficult. And it's going to be difficult in this round for FaZe as well. 5 M4s on deck. We've got EG looking to go for a contact into this B site. We've got Stan there, you can offer that smoke there for the push into B.
Oh, too late for the grenade. You've got to have the crossfire of your teammate. Rain's got one flash. He could throw through the window, but that might not even be required at this point. Rain will be here to help out. There's a great flash bounced off the wall. Spot Stanislaw as well and sets his position. A common one, but Stanislaw doesn't quite have the angles, and he knows that more players are coming. 2 kills, but that will be quite handily dealt with by the first 2 players on the B bomb site. Rain coming in to stop the push later on as well. It's exactly the round that FaZe Clan needed after getting wrecked by that Deagle.
Yes. I feel good again about the pick. But here we go. We've got EG just going for just a burst play onto the B site in that round. I'm going to be interested to keep an eye on how things develop in terms of their approaches in the early round. Of course, another buy coming through here, featuring the AWP on Cirque. So certainly an advantage to be had. You know, Maniac on the desk talking about the importance of an AWP on this map. And Cirque, obviously, an absolutely iconic AWPer. So we'll see what he can do. Rain coming back to mid as EG starts to take control of Catwalk. Got to clear Catwalk on these defaults, and once you've got that Catwalk control, we may either see, you know, the A long take or pressure into mid. No response so far from FaZe.
I can see some repositioning towards the B bomb site. Twist playing the off angle, and it looks like a mid to B smoke will be deployed. See what the response is. Olofmeister falling back, looking to jiggle now. So we've got a 3-0-2 set up here, more or less, for FaZe Clan, although Rain does have eyes towards mid. No longer does he, as he moves to the graffiti position. Goose position, excuse me. It is graffiti though, isn't it? Kind of half right. 4 players on short now. 25 seconds with which to try and get a bomb plant. Karrigan's on long, but he has no utility. He can't offer any flashes behind his teammate. They just have to frag out. They've got no more help, really, as he has to keep an eye on the long doors where Breeze is creeping, and now the numbers game comes through, or does it? Rain with 2 and Brokey with 1. Obo on the side. Got to jump down to catch the bomb, though. I don't think he gets back to the site in time. And Breeze is on an island, 1v2, but they won't give him the kills he's looking for. An expensive round for FaZe Clan, but they will win another one and tie the score.
Yeah, very well done. And that's going to indeed tie it all up, as you say. And it's been very back and forth to begin with, but it feels like Liquid are kind of poised to start pulling away here. Obviously, being able to, you know, continue onward now, having Brokey on the AWP.
Karrigan!
What about Karrigan? Oh, he was leaving him hanging. I was looking at the monies.
There was an AWP in that round, actually. I must have misread the HUD, but Cirque's AWP was collected from the A bomb site there.
This is a good early start from FaZe, though. They lock down the A long control. Might get a delayed peek here. Oh, beautiful from Cirque. Takes down Karrigan. And that's a beautiful early win, because FaZe are gonna have to now investigate. You can see Rain having a quick check there, but it's quite a long push to reclaim that ground. So just going to hold the car position for now, but A long is a complete question mark. So as far as FaZe are concerned, it could either be A or B at this point.
I wonder if Rain's going to try and make a play towards long to find out, but it's not going to come in time, I don't think. Olofmeister's alone. They could line up for him, though. Trying to reposition now, holding some off angle, spots the bomb, 2-man spray down, running out of bullets. With Twist to come in for 2. They're holding the bomb sites. They're getting a lot of kills. Just the 2 players who are holding B or A, getting 2 or 3 kills, and really cutting down the numbers for the cleanup later on if it's required. But that is another stronghold for FaZe Clan. If they lost that round, it was likely to be eco territory, so that's a very key win in a best of 1.
Yeah, that was brilliant. I mean, I just loved the movement of Olofmeister. If you look at how he was controlling his angles, and it was just really awesome to see how...
Fast boost for sure. One must know. You don't go straight into the corner there, so look at that one in the demo. Sorry to cut you off, Dan.
No, yeah, it's just a fast long take here for EG, and so they've managed to steal it away from FaZe, but it's given by FaZe. They're just playing a very passive game so far, James, and like you were mentioning, that seems amazing for FaZe, because when push comes to shove and EG move into a site, that raw defense coming in from FaZe has been pretty excellent each and every time so far.
They've got 2 AWPs, FaZe, and they're both on the A bomb site, which is pretty fun, although Twist is in the rotation position now. Smoke to obscure some vision. It will be 5-man on road. There's no sniper rifle for EG, but as we have seen, they are very warmed up.
Yeah, FaZe could have pushed B a long time ago. EG could, I mean, as far as they're concerned, all this could be known, and Brokey seems quite ready for this push as they start to make their way across. I mean, Rain's going to toss a nice HE, and that should do some good damage, chip damage onto 3 players. Brokey still by that Gandalf position. High flash by Rain to allow himself to pressure even more, just delay the plant as much as possible so that rotation can come on through. Oh no, the bomb's going to go down in the forward position, and there's not much time left. In fact, there's going to be no players left. Great hold again here from FaZe, and they are matching the pace really well of EG, because EG are playing so slow, James.
That flash from Rain came in absolutely clutch, because that looked really, really awkward for FaZe Clan. They had no idea how close EG were, and for the positions they had, it became very awkward very, very quickly. Brokey kind of stuck in the corner, but Rain offers the flashbang, which allows Brokey to swing and get a frag up close. I'm not sure who it was who was pushing him, but that flashbang came in real clutch, allowed him to hold position, cut the numbers yet more. Bomb dropped near the short plant, and again, another stronghold in the end from FaZe Clan. So again, positionally, they were very concerned about short. They didn't know if it was a split, but they were able to pull things out. But again, the coordination is good to see. That flashbang, very key, and of course the frags as well. Silence them Force putting in work now as FaZe Clan move to 5 to the 3 of EG.
So I would expect that on the next buy rounds from EG, we might see a much more explosive pace from them, just to kind of break it up from what they've been doing. And Karrigan trying to get cheeky in this round with that mid push. They are against pistols, so you know you can take some of those early risks. It's always nice to get the information, but Karrigan knows not to be too reckless. Karrigan is a player that has a good balance, generally speaking, of recklessness. He has almost that sense of control to hit the chaos that he creates. He'll just do some, like he'll get that intuition that just tells him, I have to push this very aggressively, just seemingly random times, but it just his experiences
and so on that your team can glean. And just knowing when you have an opportunity, and the Breeze with the Desert Eagle, I don't think he's missed a shot today with the Desert Eagle. Another opening for him. Brokey knows players are close, he can raise the line. We can see the rotation coming through, but have a look at the radar. There are players above him, and he could go down here. Hiding behind the smoke for the time being. Oboe, not so sharp with the Desert Eagle. Drops, which again is still good impact for EG as they try to send FaZe Clan back towards Eco territory. They'll be back on the buy now. Stanislaw's on the scoreboard, 1-4-7 at the moment. Breeze in the lead with 10, and we can find Rain with 10 as well on the CT side.
Yeah, and it seems extremely straightforward so far for FaZe. They've not really needed to sweat at all to win some of these rounds. And, I mean, we're going to have a fast, long pressure coming on through. That will be Rain having to back away from that. But the Molotov's going to be good for the kill. And Rain will get out of there without losing any health whatsoever. Quick flash over the top and a boost on Elevator will get Brokey back into position. And it's a 4v4 early on. So that's progress for EG. They've got long control, but they need to build out of this, and the AWPs I feel like will be problematic.
Some meaty grenades. Now, I don't know if FaZe realize that no one's on short. I don't know if they saw the trajectory of that incendiary, because they don't have long, they don't have short, which is very troublesome. They're on an island as far as they're concerned on this A bomb site. You can see Brokey looking to make some inroads towards that short position, because they need something from this. We did see the kill on long as well to just thin out the crowd a little for EG. Breeze of 9 HP will take the AWP now, as he can't really take a fight anymore. Olofmeister up close, holding on to short, but is he ready for... Oh, the timing! Oh, he looked away. That's a desk punching moment. There's some sound cues for Brokey. In the meantime, FaZe trying to rotate through towards B. We've got Oboe having a look, though. And that's a very important kill for Rain, going straight through the smoke, and maybe they can make it to the site in time. We'll see if Breeze posts up. No, Rain is just killing everybody at the moment, apart from Cirque in this round. 1 versus 2, checking if the site is clear. One player behind him has got the sound cues, knows he's by the car. Twist can choose to cross if he wants to. Brokey will deny, Brokey will chase, Brokey will delete.
Brilliant stuff there from Rain. That extra kill just making it into a 1 versus 2 as opposed to the 2 versus 2, or well, 3 versus 2 at that point. You know, Rain dying for that is huge. What a play to go for it. And it basically makes it impossible for Cirque.
14 kills in 7 rounds for Rain.
Yeah, he's incredible. And again, EG, they're not winning the tactical or strategic game at all right now, and they're also getting kind of crushed in some of these. I mean, outside of that, some of the early rounds moments with Breeze, they're getting pretty crushed in the individual battles. And here they go charging into Olafmeister into mid. Brokey with the trade frag as well. Will they be able to get more than one here in terms of kills? Yes, Breeze with that Deagle. Absolute menace. So will it be enough to turn this one around? The bomb goes down. And it's all on to Breeze, really. It feels like at this point with this Deagle.
Can confirm he's missed a shot of the Dead Eagle. Rain, what are you doing? This man's gone absolutely nuclear. 3.4 KD.
17 kills
He's
already.
got 3.4 KD in the first half. My God.
He's loving it. Absolutely loving it. Oh, it's, what? Imagine being in FaZe's shoes right now. You're absolutely owning EG. It's crazy. This must feel so free for them. This is on the server. EG are being bested in every single department at the moment. Mr. Outnumbered.
What does that mean?
Good old Carrigan. What a character. Carrigan also with one of the more, I would say, the more special legacies in Counter-Strike as well. His whole thing, if you are not familiar with him, is just joining international lineups and just making them into world beaters. Just finding a way, entering a lineup with a bunch of new players. He's done it multiple times at this point, more so than anybody else. One of the most legendary IGLs we have in modern CSGO.
So much more, but so much before that as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, going back to TSM days.
And then before that in 1.6 as well.
A lot of history for Mr. Carrigan.
Yeah. And going back into the game now, we have Carrigan sitting on a long control. EG putting more focus towards Catwalk. And again, you know, FaZe have been playing very reactively, very patient, very passive. They allow EG to take some of these positions, and then they just sit on the sites, they slowly adapt their positioning. But generally, it's just good reads of the maps that is really keeping FaZe ahead of the game.
Instant response. Rain dropping to CT immediately after spotting players on short. And a takeoff short is the most standard thing on Dust 2 for the T side.
Breeze just missed the timing.
4 players heading towards long. So we've got 3 on A currently for FaZe, and they're playing outside of the B bomb site. Well, that's a beautiful smoke from Carrigan. Now you can body block if they try and make a play. This is going to kill so much time. And where can they really go without giving sound cues away? They've got 4 players up. They may have to throw a molly behind the door. And there it is from Breeze. And they're going to be forced to rotate, which means Carrigan's going to get the sound cues. So surely more rotation can come in. 20 seconds on the clock for Evil Geniuses to get the frags and take the site and plant the bomb. We're asking a lot now. That smoke was absolutely crucial. Rain again with a multi-frag. And it's 9-3. Utterly denied by utility.
Sorry to interrupt you, James. I was just going to say, when they actually finally started pushing in, because as you say, they got deflected by the smokes on long, they didn't even have actual time to win the round at that point.
Yeah, they don't have time to rotate without telegraphing their intentions. They have to run.
So they're not creating any points of pressure that forces a fight before they have to go into the side take, right? And so they're just killing time, and we'll see a long challenge coming through this time, and Carrigan will go down. So that's a good early victory. 5 versus 4. This is one of the better positions EG have had. You know, normally you allow the CTs to reset their positions and they'll usually make an info play. This might be unexpected because Olaf has actually found a timing up mid, and they may have expected the info play to come through the B tons. That's more typical.
We've seen previously that EG will just sit on long for a while. They are speeding up though, and Olafmeister could have a crucial flank. There's another support flashbang for Rain. It'll buy some time at least, not looking to swing behind it. He eats a second one from his teammate, but this is allowing Olaf to get closer to those long doors. Rain's been dropped on the site though. Twitz has to be careful because we've got an elevated position. Down he goes, and this makes Olaf's flank a lot more weaker. A nice burst. Has he been spotted? Mihu will do better than that and swat him. Cirque lurking in the lower tunnel now, as Brokey is 1 versus 4. Not really anywhere he can go. I guess he will try and win the round now because he's got no other choice. Not going to happen for him. And I think a takeoff long will be crucial for EG in these last rounds, just so they have something.
Yeah.
And they don't fall victim to smokes like they did in the round prior.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. It's something that is really key because you can get a lot of nades over the top. It costs the CTs quite a lot to hold on to it if they really want to try to do that. And you can get those early engagements. You at least create like information pressure when the CTs are lacking that info. So suddenly it does a lot for you as a team, and that's a good opening pick again. They'll take down Karrigan. So it's a similar start to the previous round, except previously they got long control. At this instance, Twist still has position on long. So FaZe at least have information as to what's happening for now.
Young man Obo heading towards Brokey. Oh, that's a flick you can't afford to miss. And Obo's going to take position. I think he might really have got an opportunity to take the A bomb site now. Let's not forget they got the frag on long earlier, but Twist is on long. However, FaZe can have lost all other position. We'll see if the AWP rotates. Rain and Brokey creeping through the smoke actually, and Olafmeister as well, but that would be the most awkward of retakes from downstairs. Look at all the numbers on short. They are ready for a play to be made, but Rain is still going to kill Zerk. My God, 20 kills in this half, Rain, but he needs more if they are to win this round.
Yeah, Brokey's going to take down one more as well. It's getting a little bit easier. Stands on the site still. He's going to lose his teammates. Rain keeps killing everybody. And it's going to be just now down to Obo in the 1v2 as he sprays away on top of the smoke. The spray continues, but it's Brokey to get the last say in that one. 9-4, soon down to 10-4.
No. I don't think he's got it. We've cut off too far. He doesn't have a diffuse kit, and he's got 2 seconds. It's going to be a very close one indeed.
Oh.
Okay, he has got it.
Okay.
Let's be careful about those bomb diffusers.
Absolutely. And we're up to how many kills now for Rain? 21 kills.
21 for 8.
My God.
My God.
Breeze is trying to get there. He's 15 for 9.
That's a very difficult retake to do. 3 players standing on short above you, creeping around smokes and such. Very impressive retake by FaZe Clan, who go from strength to strength on Dust 2. This time Karrigan won't get picked, but I like that he's not being conditioned to be more careful. He's still going to do his best Karrigan impression. Well, not impression, he is Karrigan. Anyway, Rain is going to get some sound cues in T-spawn. Nice molly. Spot stand, and that's the bomb as well. So good map control for Rain. He can just fall back and they can enjoy control of the short position again, which is key. Short needs to be taken in most cases.
I just love the pressure from FaZe. It's pretty safe pressure. It slows everything down. They still have long control, do FaZe. So they know that there's very little that EG have at the moment on the map. Maybe B tons, and now finally starting to get some cat control. Pop flash comes through, threatening middle, but Rain is here, posted up, and looking to own absolutely everybody. EG finally making their way into catwalk. That slow pace continuing. So now 50 seconds left in the round. They've got that cat control. So what's the next move? Do they go for the mid drop? And then they can kind of fall back into an A split.
You can see Brokey's by the car. And it looks like the split is on. They have short. They're heading towards long. So this time, FaZe kind of quite out of position. They are more committed to that B bomb site. Brokey may go for a second one. It's a perfectly timed flashbang, but I don't see any kill on a kill feed. An opening in the mid now. And they may try and solve something towards the B bomb site, but oh, they're losing players everywhere. Karrigan trying to stay alive, unsure as to what is happening in that short area behind the boxes now. Oh, he's not going to be able to do anything. So maybe there's a 5th round in this for EG. Indeed there is. 5-10 at half-time in favor of FaZe Clan, of course. A huge half for Rain, but there's plenty of work to do for both teams.
Yeah, definitely. I think you could really tell that the T side there was very basic from EG, just playing a very slow pace the whole time. And what happens when you do that is that there will be some elements of gambling which can sometimes work in your favor and sometimes work against you. We saw both of those things. We saw it working for them and working against them, evidenced in that first half. But at the same time, you're not really taking as many plays and making as many decisions. So it just seemed quite basic from them, and FaZe looked quite comfortable overall. So we'll have to see if on the CT side, EG will be able to assert themselves more on the map, because I think that's going to be necessary to defeat FaZe here, especially with the lead that they have. But it starts with the pistol, and as we move into the second half, we'll see if Rain with the PT50, he's been raid bossed, if he'll be able to keep the terror going.
Numbers, elevated numbers as well. Some high, some low. Zerk doing some damage. Still alive somehow. had a second opportunity, and we have a 3-on-3. EG really need to win pistols based on what I have been able to look at on their stats, but this one doesn't look likely. However, it is a pistol round. You just need to land that one shot. There's the first one of 3 that Obo needs. Heading towards Twisted and Carrigan. Now they know where he is. Carrigan, he just doesn't give a monkeys, does he? He's not going to play that 2 versus 1. He's going to do his Carrigan. He's just going to go forward. He's going to be aggressive.
That is crazy, because I feel like if he loses that duel, it's like, it feels pretty irresponsible, and we would definitely be feeling a little bit... We would probably be calling Carrigan out a little bit if he just dies there. But hey,
I think he's getting to, in terms of the plays he makes, it's kind of like when you look at classic Fnatic and the space that JW was given to do things that didn't necessarily make sense, but could win you matches. I think Carrigan's in a similar position.
Yeah.
Where you just got to let him be Carrigan, essentially.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's not going to go right.
Yes.
But like the plays we saw where he was running top mid, in the last Dust 2 and so on, he wins like a lot of rounds by just not respecting his opponent.
There's an element at the very elite level of competition where kind of playing the unexpected spots that are like actually minus EV everywhere else is actually going to be a positive thing to do, because it's very unexpected at the pro level. So you can really, that out-of-box thinking from Carrigan is certainly valuable. And we'll have the mid-take coming through here now, and there's pistols to worry about. Obo first man up, and will go down very quickly. The MP9 also not finding what it needs to here. Breeze in the back with the deke. He can't get it done either, and 1 by 1. EG not finding damage in this round. Somehow, FaZe surviving so far with all 5 players. That is a huge boon to their economy, of course. And for EG, we will definitely need to see Cirque on the AWP as soon as possible. Yeah, man. EG and losing both pistols, not the best of combinations at present. It's really going to make things hard for them. It's crazy too, because of course you've got Rain, who's just really fragging just really effectively. And if you know, combining that with how well the team looks in terms of just the synergy, it's a really scary prospect. So far, FaZe are just playing a really good level, and we've seen it before. You know, with all of that said, we've seen it before. A team in EG's position, finding ways to turn it around, especially on the CT side if they're able to get their economy in check. But unfortunately, it's just not working out like that at the beginning, at least, of the second half. Another save is required for EG. And then that's going to give them only a couple rounds to play with. Yeah, just doing it the hard way. But it was always going to be hard for EG at this major. Rushing mid as well. Oh, maybe they can isolate Rain and steal his gun. But he looks like he's in a pretty safe spot, actually. I'm not sure if they're close enough to hear his footsteps. He is moving away now. We can see Stan having a look-see. I think Rain has detected something. But with his teammates on the B bomb site, I guess there's a decision to make on if you want to fall back or not. But he is up against USP, so I think maybe he's just like, ooh, 30 bomb. Yeah. Just going to chill here by the football. 27 kills at present. Mihi will look to offer him a 28 opportunity. Denied. Yeah, nice shots with the deagle there. And I mean, if they can get this next kill, they can maybe steal away the weapon. It's going to be tough. There's more bodies coming to deny the pickups. Uh-oh. There it is. Denied. 13-5, and this is where the game begins on the second half for EG. Looking to see them bust out the AWP, and indeed Cirque is going to pick that one up. But again, the question now remains, are they going to be able to find a way to bring themselves about to some victories here and string them together? Of course, again, there's only 2 rounds. That is room for error. It's basically no buffer for error. Carrigan up to shenanigans immediately. Pop Flash is lined up for a takeoff long, but FaZe Clan are invested in the B apartments at the very least, the B halls, should I say. Oh, you're right about the shenanigans here. Carrigan's just walking out mid. Love that. Oh, he's found a timing too on Mihu. He's got a better angle, but Mihu is so ready for it. Very well done by him. What is their read of the B bomb site now? With Mihu moving back to the mid position, nothing untoward there, but they may feel like they have an opportunity, and they are starting to move in, taking the off angles away. And hey ho, it's Rain with his 28th kill.
Oboe still on the site, but they're not going to go crazy. Olofmeister looking for rotation. There's someone in the T-spawn as well, and his patience is going to be rewarded. Cirque now with the AWP by these double doors. Tries to avoid the flashbang, but goes back and eats it. Shows his presence with nothing to show for it. Cirque and Oboe now, the last two remaining versus the 4 of FaZe Clan, firmly in control. Bomb maybe headed towards the A bomb site, but Cirque may still have something to say about this, and they're holding things down. They've tied up the numbers.
Rain's back at it again. That's another kill for him. It was brilliant. Even though Twist went down, that suggested to EG that they were going B. So or rather, yeah, it's going B. So it bought them so much time to get position on A. Obviously, Rain then gets a very good position for that frag in CT. So in such a good spot now, FaZe to close this one down. Here swings Oboe to try to save it. It's going to be quick. He's going to be perfect. But it's Rain. It's Rain with 30 kills. My God, this guy is owning them right now.
Final boss of Dust 2 today. It looks like Rain giving Evil Geniuses nightmare mode in their first game at the Major, the Legend stage. Some people feel that the Major starts here. Starting very painfully for Evil Geniuses at the moment.
They're just, I mean, FaZe did so many things really well there in that last round. We don't really have too much time to talk about it, but they're just, they are playing a really good T-side. The amount of play they had against their opponent's rotations in that last round was awesome. Ooh, Breeze again.
Why does it look so easy?
He does make it look like the old Deagle, whereas everybody else over the last few days.
The classic skin helps as well. Maybe he needs to buy a Blaze again. Maybe that's the key.
Oh, down to 1 HP.
Yeah.
You can't kill him.
4v3. We've got a desperate push from Mihu. Lands the crucial shots, and there might be a rifle for him to collect. Indeed, there is. Breeze on the way as well. Coming in from the back as FaZe Clan make their way into the B bomb site. Cirque with a headshot through the door onto Twist. And maybe there's a chance yet for EG as they find themselves in a 1 versus 3. But Brokey, he's got 1 minute on the clock to find these remaining 2 players. 41 HP for Brokey. Down goes Cirque as well. And Mihu will just about clutch the round for EG. Man, down to the wire, but they keep FaZe Clan off of match points.
Yeah, but that really hurts the money. That hurts the money a lot. Maybe it doesn't matter at this point, but still. They really made that one painful. Good stuff, though. Of course, that was off at the back of just, some Deagles and so on. So, EG showing that they have, a lot of individual skill. It's just that they're not being as well set up to succeed as FaZe are setting themselves up to succeed. And we've got, that 4-man opening towards the long position here to just guarantee that long control. And they're not expecting a rush timing towards B. And the question is, are they looking to take Catwalk here? Okay, they're going back to some mid-positioning, but Rain's pushed out. He might just catch them.
I wonder if his shoulder was maybe seen by Mihu there.
Going beyond the molly. He knows he's got a timing, but it's a bait effectively. Karrigan there, ready to trade it.
Yeah, Oboe's in trouble, alone on the B bomb site, trying to play it around this smoke, but there is a significant gap in it. He's looking for it. And now they know where he is. The bomb's been dropped, those twins. But I think Karrigan's near the bomb, and there's a kill from Olofmeister. Very key kill. Brokey now in an awkward position as a bomb needs to be rescued. Indeed, it will be, but have a look at this. Shotgun mode. That will reveal his position, but he's also slowing things down. But then again, the bomb hasn't been planted just yet, so it's currently inconsequential. But now the timer has started, and Brokey's still here with no support, no flashes for his teammates to throw for him. Trying to be baited by Breeze as Stanislaw makes his way forward. He must realize what's going on, but he can't do much about it. And that gives a man advantage for EG.
Yeah, this is a really good opportunity for this retake to happen now, but are they going to be able to guess right on these positions? Olofmeister there by the big box. He's going to be the cover. Karrigan, oh, it's a beautiful series of frags. Team play on point for FaZe.
Match point. First map of the day here on the A stream in the Legend stage of the PGL 2021 Major. Starts in Bucharest, finishes in Stockholm. See you there. If you got tickets, sold out for the weekend. Great coordination from FaZe Clan. Something we always look for. Olofmeister looking sharper now. People have been mentioning his recent stats and so on, but he's having a performance here. But it is quite a significant scoreline.
Yeah.
Not the highest pressure on FaZe right now.
Then my 3-0 pick. What about you, James?
I think I left it on... I'll put G2 late on. Okay. Just as a gamble, because the 3-0 pick is a gamble pick. But anyway, FaZe now charging into the B bomb site, playing the numbers game. Stanislaw blind by the car. He's good for once. His support has been dropped, and so has he. 3v4 retake with 2 smokes. No mollies, no flashes for Evil Geniuses. Nothing to put around the bomb site. Maybe they can find something on the outside. Twist with a disgusting angle, and surely Obo is doomed. He's only got a MP9 to play with.
Yeah, very tough. And here, look at this cover that Twist has. Better angle. Will take down Obo. It is just meant to be here for FaZe. It looks like Mihu trying to make his way through the window. And there's multiple players. Oh, beautiful pick onto Rain. They're trying to do it, but they just can't. It's just too much. 16-6. Absolutely epic showing from FaZe. Dominance effectively from start to finish.
Yeah. We saw some brief highlights with the Deagle from Breeze, but apart from that, it was all FaZe and all Rain. At least 20 kills in that first half, going beyond the 30 bomb in that one as well. He got so many multi-frags, and there were opportunities for EG on their T side where they were pushing the bomb sites, but they just held it down. They had 2 people FaZe, they just held it down. They held down the B bomb site. Loads. They had the multi-frags. I mean, obviously Rain got loads of multi-frags. I think he was averaging 2 kills a round for quite a long time in that first half. And of course, the support flashes, the coordination, even when they were in awkward positions, they just had the synergy to overcome most of those situations, which gives them a huge victory in their first game of the day.
Yeah, looking really, really, really good. I loved also the depth of their play, just the map awareness that they had. They looked just much more on the ball than Evil Geniuses did. Evil Geniuses playing that really slow pace, got caught off so many times, just giving the game away from an information point of view. FaZe, when they were on their T side, they were pushing and pulling constantly, the rotations seesawing the defenders all the time. And their communication was clearly on point. It was great to watch, and they're looking dangerous.
Yeah, they really are. A quick first game, and that's it from us for now. Over to Richard and the boys on the desk.
Yes, well, fabulous FaZe there, handling Evil Geniuses. We're going to quickly break that down on the desk. Maniac bled pretty much what I expected, honestly. I mean, what to say? You know, look, I don't want to get ahead of myself, but I don't think Evil Geniuses are a legend caliber team, and you know, and we all know how the system works.
Feeling risky this morning, making outrageous statements to begin with.
I don't think that is outrageous, but I'm sure the internet does.
It is
maybe the 2 remaining fans of EG might have something to say about that.
There you go. Thank you, Blake. You've taken the heat off.
I'll take it off.
Thank you. That's good. But no, seriously, you know, and FaZe have been very good here.
Yep.
That's the reality. But I just think Evil Geniuses just made it so easy for them.
No, and unfortunately for EG, what we have right there is kind of the, on one hand, FaZe coming in from the new challenger stage, warmed up, you know, accustomed to the conditions, knowing exactly what they need to do, having all that momentum in their backs, whereas EG kind of slowly showing up. They start the game, lose the pistol round, have a reset. You're thinking, that's it. Breezes, Deagle, we on track, baby. We're talking about Counter-Strike, and from 3-1 to 16-6, there was no game.
I felt like those 3 rounds they won in the beginning after losing the pistol, right, with Breeze, especially with the Deagle popping up. Great clutch, by the way, with the Deagle. Great stuff coming out there. And then they just got washed away in the tsunami, which was Rain in the server. He got, I'm sure you have some pretty cool stats here, Matthew, but he has 157 ADR, 33 kills in a game which didn't go beyond 22 rounds. Holy Christ.
Yep, that's pretty good.
It's not bad.
It's pretty good. You know, the thing about Rain is, and we haven't really talked about him too much here because obviously the stellar performances from Twists and surprisingly Karrigan. It's really interesting. There's basically 2 schools of FaZe fan. There's the fan that when they were having struggles in the online era who was like, well, who are we going to remove? It has to be Rain long term. And I'm like,
nope,
absolutely not. Rain is the super soldier. He is the glue. He will play any role, do anything, and that's why he's so highly valued by the likes of Karrigan. He's his muse. He understands.
I'll take a step in your direction because on one hand, I have to acknowledge the fact that Rain did disappear a little bit when it comes to Counter-Strike, and it would be disingenuous to pretend we didn't. But remember as well, at some point he was in the top 5 of HLTV 2017. He was the 4th best player in the world. He was an absolute beast. He was maybe a little bit underrated, but yes, he did dip down of the top level of Counter-Strike, and it is great to see him come back because that is the type of game you can have when he's spinning it.
Oh, that's the thing, right? I would have been really pissed off if he got, you know, removed before the major or something like that because of his underperformance. He's the guy who's going to be delivering at a stage like this when it comes to the major. He's got that experience. You have Twist coming in. You have, you know, players like Brokey shining there. Rain showing up here suddenly. FaZe go from being, you know, a team who could pull off a few upsets, have a deep run, to being a team who everyone in this tournament are going to be keeping an eye out for. And there you have it, Matthew. Like, what the hell is that?
Oh, it's absolutely huge. Look, I'm just here very, very massively refreshing the HLTV page, seeing if it is indeed his best performance on Dust 2. But I can tell you this.
Yeah,
on
it's
LAN
pretty
on
close.
Dust 2, on LAN on Dust 2, this man is popping off. He's had massive performances, the likes of a +2 rating against Liquid, 188. It feels like this map, in some kind of way, is exactly what he needs. A little bit of space on the CT side. You see him move around. He's got that freedom. He's got the positioning. And he's always good for multi-kills. He's had so many multi-kills in this game. He wasn't traded just because in the right position.
And here's the thing. It wasn't like he was being gifted the space. He was just snatching it away from them. The number of multi-kills he got, just playing around the smokes, just being a thorn in the side. He wasn't really a part of any of the opening duels, so to speak. It was Karrigan mostly trying to make contact initially.
Also not where you want him.
Exactly, that's not where you want him, right? But when it comes to these 5v4 situations where it is their opposition getting the opening kill, EG actually got quite a number of few opening kills, but it's like, nah, that's not going to happen. Just the snatches it back. Just a magical performance coming out from the Norwegian.
Well, it never rains, but it pours, and we are going to be drenched in Counter-Strike. We're going to go to a quick break. When we come back, we're going to be breaking down another amazing game, Gambit versus Ence. Don't go anywhere.
Coming up next, Gambit versus Ence.
Your favorites will play soon. You hope for the win. Excited about the game. But something has changed. You start to doubt. Will they pull it off? Or will they drift away? You pull yourself together. Because you're sure they're revved up to win. You know they've prepared. They've picked the right course. And even when there's no chance, you believe they will win. GG Bet. Be excited.
В этом видео мы процентного изменения. Еще больше.
Welcome back to the PGL Major Stockholm 2021. We are about to break down the next game. It's Gambit and Ence, but just before we do that, I'll tell you there's an absolute banging match going on over on the secondary stream right now. G2 versus Copenhagen Flames. G2 have just took the lead. This is why you need 2 monitors, guys, at least, for this event. Maniac Blair joining me on the desk. This one I am super excited about. I think this was a potential banana skin from the start. The moment I saw it, I know Gambit have had a crisis of confidence. And realistically, they should be heavy favorites, but that doesn't tell the full story, right, guys?
There is no way around ignoring the fact that Gambit is composed of 4 absolute rookies for this type of Counter-Strike we're about to play.
True.
There's no way around it.
Yep.
Only Hobbit is familiar with what the major is. He won a major. The rest of the crew new to that. And we know how much everyone is expecting from Gambit. And they get to play against Ence out of the challengers, out of the team you didn't expect. Probably one of the hardest draw to get. Like Snappy's surprising everyone with his play style. So you're Gambit, you come in here, you absolutely do not have the luxury to treat them lightly. That would be a fatal mistake.
Absolutely not. And like for Gambit, I think the storyline I would try to paint would be, are they, you know, actual challenges for the throne, or are they pretenders? This tournament's going to be deciding that particular thing. For the side of Ence, though, they had nothing to lose. They're already right now in the legend stage. For them, it's how deep they can go. And honestly, an animal which has nothing to lose is the most dangerous animal.
Yeah, I know. I work with Thorin. So, you know, listen, I'll talk a bit about Hobbit. I think he's a very important person to highlight. Obviously, they're a phenomenally talented squad over at Gambit. So a lot of the times we talk about some of the other names. But let's be clear. This was an academy team in 2020. Supra, I think it was, goes out. Hobbit comes in. Last time PGL had a major, he won it in Krakow, and that seemed to turbocharge and level it up. He went from winning Rookie of the Year, I think, back then, to now being like the fatherly figure that's helping develop this talent.
His story is so fascinating and incredible. You're right. 2017, winning a major in the top 20
As
of
a rookie,
HLTV, disappears completely from Counter-Strike, tries with Hellraisers, it's not working out, doesn't really find his place, and then the resurgence with the Gambit youngsters. But the point I want to make about Hobbit is that he's one of these very rare players whose input goes way beyond just the server, because he's a fatherly figure, he's a mentor figure with them, but also he frags like hell. Like, you cannot even hide behind the fact it's like, no, he doesn't really kill a lot of people, but he is really, you know, he helps us, it's valuable. Hell no, he's an X factor. He's the kind of guy that's gonna completely switch and flip around on its head if he's got the positioning for it. He's in that trio of Axile, Shiro, Hobbit is right there, so he's a carry in and outside of the server, which is incredible to see.
And it's kind of apt as well that, you know, this Gambit squad, they were known as Gambit youngsters last year, and they got picked up they were rather elevated towards the main squad position in October, exactly a year ago, with Hobbit coming in. So it's kind of the catalyst of how they went from just, you know, winning a few DreamHack Opens or something last year to being the best team, at least for a period of time this year.
Yeah, well, I mean, we talk about how tough this opponent is going to be. I guess we'll talk about Ence. I know you've got something you want to say. Because you're kind of scratching your head a little bit about Hades. Most people, by the way, think he's a phenomenally talented player and instrumental in all of Ence's success. Where are you at?
He is absolutely talented. He's fantastic. This rise of Ence alongside Diha and Dodo and all these guys around him, of course with Snappy leading the way, he's looking great. My problem here is when it comes to them performing on LAN. I look at their EPL stats. Pro League Season 14, it was all online. He was far and away the best player on the team.
Right.
You look at IEM Fall. Not exactly a great showing overall. He was kind of middle of the pack, not really the star player, so to speak, because the other youngsters who were really stepping it up. And you look at, you know, even if you go back to, I do believe, some of the other couple of lands, so far this tournament as well, in the Challenger stage, despite Ence having a great run and qualifying to the Legend stage, he was the lowest rated player. Now, that could also be the fact that he really hasn't had much to do so far, because they were winning very convincingly overall.
I don't buy that.
You don't buy that, right? Exactly. I don't buy that
either.
either. So for me, I feel he's got the talent. The thing is, has he got the nerves to deliver when it comes to here on LAN?
And here's one of the problems that you have to keep in mind when it comes to Counter-Strike, the first impression principle. People are looking for players who play their first LAN, and if you fail, you are very quick to be labeled an onliner. And it's going to take you, it's going to be an uphill battle for weeks and weeks and events for people to finally consider what you can do here. So I think personally, individually speaking, he's missed the mark in the new Challenger stage. There's nothing we can say about that. Let's not try and save him, because then we can actually applaud him if he rises to the occasion now. It would be a great story for him if he actually can have an impact now, because he was essentially a non-factor in the first few days.
Yeah.
Yeah, and look, at the start of the show, we highlighted, you know, we're going to have Simple here today. We're going to have ZywOo here today. There's another guy in this conversation, I think, of Player of the Year, potentially. It is Simple, by the way. Spoiler. It's got to
Oh,
be.
why would you ruin the fun for everyone?
But yeah, but like, you know, look, Shiro is the guy who, the first half of this year, I think if you looked at it statistically, this is when Vitality were having their problems. ZywOo would drop down a third, you know, he was kind of there. And Shiro was the second best player behind Simple. And when Gambit kind of fell off a little bit, naturally, he does as well. But just how good is this guy?
Let's be real here. Okay, let's be absolutely real. I've seen a lot of people in the online sphere talking about this guy's an ex-Simple, he's an ex-ZywOo. He's not. He's an incredibly gifted player. He is fantastic, but he's not proven like Simple as. I don't need to go into what Simple has done in his career. And even ZywOo coming in. Remember, ZywOo came in when LANs were being played properly in front of crowds, in front of massive audiences, and he still delivered, right? He was there in contention with Simple of being the best player. The Rookie of the Year, for example. Incredible stuff coming out from ZywOo. Shiro has proven that he can do all this stuff online. He can also deliver when it comes to LAN. But when it comes to the biggest event he has ever played in his career, can he deliver? There is still a question mark there. So no, he is not a Simple, he's not a ZywOo, but if he delivers here, he can start. People can start now making the argument: can he maybe in the future be a Simple? Or
and
a
that
ZywOo?
is actually how good he is. He is so good that despite all these facts you've just mentioned, you kind of have to throw his name for the year. You kind of have to consider him. And this event is about grinding legitimacy if you're Shiro, right? You're at the major, you have that crazy performance, then people cannot ignore all of you've done throughout the years. We're talking 2 MVPs, we're talking trophies. Actually, I think past 3 months, he's one of the highest rated player we have, 133.
Yeah, I think he's
it's ridiculous. Like, he's peaking right now before the major. So I will join you. I'll say, okay, you have to prove it there. But if he does, we all just have to shut up and applaud. He would be there in that list.
Yeah, it's going to be real hard. We are going to have the veto coming up shortly. I just want to talk about, I mean, where do you think Ence can take Gambit to? And we're about to find out. This surprises me.
Okay, the Mirage ban coming in from Gambit. This is a discussion we're having.
Yeah, we literally had this discussion off camera.
So the discussion Maniac and I had was, would Gambit rather play a Mirage because they are a stronger team, just play on a known quantity, or are they going to be banning it out? They've gone for the ban because it is the best map for Ence. They have pulled off a lot of upsets here. Ancient getting banned by Gambit, no surprises there. Overpass, I feel it's a middle of the pack map, so to speak, for both the teams here, Maniac? No?
Gambit is really good.
Yeah, I think Gambit have
Gambit are really good at all the maps.
We have to.
But I like their Overpass.
Let's be historical for just a second here. Overpass used to be up there with Vertigo as one of the go-to for Gambit.
Yes.
You would never allow them to play Overpass. Then there was a period of time where they had a couple of losses. People started seeing the blood, feeling the blood in there, and they started playing it. Last 3 months, Gambit have absolutely destroyed everyone, Na'Vi included, on Overpass 16-7. It is a good map. And this conversation, this best of one, ties back up to one of the big questions we have about Ence. Where is the map pool as a whole? The maps they have played during the new Challenger stage were great. Nuke was great. Mirage was great. We were all impressed with Snappy's work on the T side. I was the first one to completely revere for that. Now you play Overpass, a middle map for you, a very good map for Gambit.
And here's the problem. You look at the stats for the side of Ence, you're like, you know, they have won 6 out of the 10 overpasses they've played so far. But if you look at the wins they have, it's against like teams like K23, Complexity, who are kind of dying right now. But you face off against a overpass specialist team like NIP, for example. They got just banged out, and just very recently at IM Fall itself. So yeah, sure, that's a problem with this team. They're very good on a few maps when it comes to the when they go deeper into the map pool, and especially when it comes to the best of ones, where you won't be playing your happy map, so to speak. You're going to be struggling a bit.
And there's the MO of Gambit. When they play against a challenger, if they get to start on the CT side, that's the end. You're not passing through. Like when Gambit was winning, they were one of these teams. Once they were dialed in, activated on the CT side, that was the end. So this is what we used to praise for Snappy throughout this whole event. So, oh my God, their T sides, all these comebacks on Nuke, that was great. He was finding ways. Do it against Gambit.
Well, I was going to say, yeah, do it against Gambit. It's going to be unbelievably difficult for him. I mean, you know, Snappy, a great thinker about the game. We're going to see if he's got an ace up his sleeve here. So, guys, we don't do predictions usually. We've got a little bit of time before we throw it to the casters. So, I mean, are you feeling Gambit going to hit the ground running here and give us an additional storyline through the major?
Yeah, I would side with Gambit. I do believe that the disappointment, if I can use that term, of Cologne only making it to quarterfinal, if anything, it probably hardened them a little bit. They came to Cologne with everyone watching them, everyone expecting them to win. Any loss wasn't acceptable. They had to go through that process. They grew stronger out of it. And now that they have this first land in back pocket, this is still a studio area they're playing in right now. They
Yeah.
know they've been there. So I think Gambit is good for the playoffs, and this starts with a win against Ence.
I have to completely agree with you on this, right? I want
Not
to kind
taking
of...
any risk.
It's not about a risk. I do enjoy this Ence team. I feel like they could potentially pull off upsets, right, against other teams. But it would be very disingenuous of me to say, yeah, Ence can pull off the upset here. I think Gambit should be winning this very convincingly, looking at the map as well.
Well, I agree. I think the worry for me, Blair, is that if they don't, you know, I touched on this point briefly yesterday when we were doing the after show. You know, in the CIS region, I think Gambit should be a beloved team. I think they play amazing Counter-Strike, really cool story. They're all young guys, young IGL, Hobbit, fantastic, you know, veteran like we've talked about, great career. And yet, because CIS is so dominated by Na'Vi fans, Gambit, the fans just haven't really warmed to them. And there's a lot of people in Counter-Strike who are like, you need to go to this major, you need to have a deep run, or actually everything you did at the start of the year, forget about it. It doesn't count.
And it is something that they have in the backs of their mind, for sure, 100%. There's always going to be people, part of the community, which will point at Gambit, say, all you did was online, dude. I don't care about your trophies. This was playing from your home.
Sure.
Although, by the way, I'll mention, Gambit was one of the team who played on bootcamp all the time. They were basically next to each other the entire season. We're talking about work ethics. We're talking about dedication. There was Axile just basically having his birthday just at the bootcamp, and he had a freaking stuffed animal next to him by the girlfriend. That was so cute. How much dedication do you expect from these guys?
I do have to say, though, I wonder if Shiro brought his little wooden kitchen chair from that boot camp, because he doesn't play on those gaming chairs, mind you. He has a special chair for him, you know, to play in that particular environment. So, you know, this is LAN. This is LAN. You have to adapt. I do wonder if he bought it. Is it allowed even to get your own chair?
Pretty sure he didn't take his own chair through the flight. I'm pretty
Well,
sure.
yeah, good luck getting that one through customs. But no, honestly, I feel this major is the crucible. It's come at a very weird time for Gambit, and especially with everyone saying this is Na'Vi's major. You know, it's going to be in the back of their mind that if they lose, you know, even if it's just a temporary setback and they do go to the top 8 that we're expecting them to do, you know, they could make it harder for themselves.
I always take the flip side of that, which is that the spotlight at this major is on Na'Vi. There is absolutely no discussion. Every story, every narrative is about how this major is promised to Simple and his crew, all the wins, the Inter Grand Slam in there, they should be winning it. That's a totally different ball game for Gambit. If anything, we're ready to be surprised by Gambit. So I think it helps for them to come in a different mindset, because they're a bunch of rookies with one very experienced player. You don't want to show up at the major with the pressure of the entire community to win it. We know it's a good team. The spotlight has shifted. Maybe from the shadows they can emerge.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing much to add to that, right? Like, they are a team who, like you said, the fact that they didn't have a deep run in Cologne, for example, might actually be again, it's not a deep run. They should have been all the spotlight was on them. Can they actually win the championship? Can they have won Cologne? Didn't really happen, right? So now that's out of the way. Now that the spotlight is kind of off them, everyone's like, all right, let's see what they can do right now. I feel this is where they can actually deliver. And looking at this matchup against Ence, if they can kind of dismantle Ence in a convincing fashion, especially on a map like Overpass, that's a great sign.
They can be momentum based. We know, depending on how they actually, you know, kick the things up for the tournament, they'll play differently. We talk about pressure. We talk about some of these profiles. Nafany has to be a talking point. Nafany as an IGL, he's going to have so much on his shoulders, right, with Gambit at this major. He even said openly in interviews at the beginning of Cologne, said, you know what, I had a lot of pressures. Sometimes emotions get the best of me. I need my crew to be with me, help me in these moments. We know the coach, thank you, Valve, have to take a step back as well, have to be very careful with how they interact with their players. So for Nafany, as an IGL, you're not going to have this. Now think about a tennis game, right? I always think about that. Coaches are not allowed to interact with the players, but there's still going to be eye contact at times, just, you know, we in this together. Here, Nafany is going to be on his own, on an island. He's going to have to make the right choices, and we'll see if he can do it.
Well, I've just been told in my ear we've got 5 minutes until the game. I think they're just having a, you know,
good.
You know what it's like. You move people in, you move people out. We're doing it in the studio. It always amazes me that players just can't sit down and get going, but whatever. But let's talk a little bit about that hot topic that happened, because you touched upon it there. You're right, Nafany, very young IGL. I mean, people forget, right, at a time when everyone's like saying, oh, he's just a young IGL for other teams. You know, no, we're really talking about a kid here, essentially. One that was a rookie, one that was in that academy side, and he's done a fantastic job, again, worthy of all the accolades. But it is a different world when you're up there, you're in a LAN environment, and now, this rule's always existed, that the coaches can't be interacting with you and giving you fist bumps, and just giving that little bit of social contact to help in the pressure situations. And people have gone apoplectic about it. Again, I'm just going to go against the stream and say this is the rule that always existed, and you know, it's good it's being enforced, frankly.
It's always been very limited and restricted, the amount of interactions you can have between players and coaches. We can talk about whether we agree or disagree with that. I would personally like to have coaches more space, more interactions with the player. This, as the way I see sports, is part of a discipline. I'm not here to make a point about that, but just for some of these IGLs, think about the pairs. I always look at the leader and the coach as this very indestructible link between two very important pieces in the team. We know Apex and Extaz or Vitality is a good example. Their work together is very important. Nafany and his coach as well. It's just a little bit isolating now for an IGL. You're in the middle of a game, you don't know what to do.
In fact, I feel it's essential at times, right? You're talking about someone like Apex. We mentioned how he can be very emotional, and sometimes that can be a negative thing. But you have someone like his coach, Extaz, right behind him, can be like, calm down, we got this, right? Small little things like that could potentially
just a hand on your shoulder.
Yeah, it's an intangible, so to speak.
Yeah.
But it could really be very impactful for a couple of these teams. Just to touch on what he said about Nafany as well. I mean, this is a guy, a youngster coming out and also being the most studied team at the beginning of this year, right?
Man.
Imagine how much work they've put in, that every single team on the planet, like, we need to figure out how these guys play. So the question here is now teams have kind of figured them out, so to speak, but I do wonder what they're bringing to the table here, because I have a feeling they're going to be pulling out some pretty cool stuff.
Well, that's the other problem, you know. Astralis ran into that, right? You know, you when you lead from the front and you're the team everyone wants to beat, what demo do you download?
You know, that's also, I think that is the start of the discussion where you realize some teams, because of how sound their Counter-Strike is, are actually long-term champions. Whereas some other teams, a little bit more gimmicky, a bit more gambly sometimes, a bit more aggressive. You see a deep run and you're thinking, how can they reproduce that? How can that be the MO you're going to use, your modus operandi, to win all the time? For Gambit, I always had the feeling that the base is very sound. And in the base, in the identity of Gambit's playstyle, is a lot of variable. You will see like their map controls on the T side where they will just spread across different players, and you're watching with the bird's eye view, and I myself am not exactly sure what's the end of that round. Like, I can see there's definitely a stack of player over here, but they might pull it back. So as a result, I don't think Gambit is a team that is too easy to anti-strat. I think they have created this great strat book, which is just somber enough, obscure enough that you don't really know what's happening, and all the respect to Nafany for that as well.
Yeah, do you agree with that?
Yeah, absolutely. And I do want to touch upon the other couple of players we haven't really touched on. Like
sure, well,
Axel.
evidently
pick your choice. Axel is over there as
You want
well.
to pick the players? All right. Axel, Shiro, obvious stars for this team,
Yeah.
right? We've spoken about Hobbit and what he brings to the table, also being an incredible fragger. We have Nafany, the IGL, right? Let's talk about Inters. I remember a couple of interviews when Nafany said it was like, Inters is probably just the most raw, skilled player in the team. Now, I disagree with that fact.
Yeah, we're gonna put a stop on that.
Yeah, we got to stop
yeah,
that.
yeah.
But here's the thing.
But you know
seen
why
times-
he's saying it, though. You know,
to make you
you've
feel
got,
better
yeah,
about
you've
it,
got to
yeah.
gas your teammates up. I get it.
But here's the thing, though, like the fact that when the going seems to get tough at times, I've seen Inters just pop off. He's not a weakling at all. He's not that supportive player who's only going to be getting 10 kills in a map or something like that. I've seen him outfrag Shiro and Axel as well against decent opposition. So it's not just about the strat book. It's not just about the stars. Each and every one of the players in his team is fantastic.
And Interns is the death of the ideology of a Senji. A Senji doesn't exist, actually. Doesn't matter your position, doesn't matter how selfless you can be. Shout out to Senji. Also, you can have an impact in that moment. Interns is the actual kind of epiphany of that same exit when Astralis was winning. You would look at the positions he was playing. Hey, surprise! He can still multi-kill you when he needs to. He will be that difference maker when the other members of the team are a little bit slowed down. We know Interns can do it. Gambit have one of the deepest roster we have in the game.
All right. Well, the good news is, guys, we're going to get to see that roster
go.
now.
Woo!
So we're about to find out if it's going to be easy for Ence or glorious for Gambit. Take it away, guys.
Thank you, Monsieur Lewis. Well, this is a very interesting matchup, isn't it? I mean, they just spent the whole time breaking that down, but we are waiting for the last player to connect to the server. Best one territory.
Yeah.
Ents have been good.
It's a great map for it as well. I mean, I'm super stoked because Overpass is such a technical map. We get to see it, and for the teams that do the work, there's an enormous amount of diversity that is possible in terms of your approach from a strategic standpoint, from a tactical standpoint, and then the individuals too, the focus on the AWPs and so on. This map is, for me, a map that has it all.
Ents, I think they were 3.16 versus 1.37 to Gambit in the odds. I mean, the thing is, it's a best of one, man. Like, they're laying on some very, very generous odds there. Best of one, there's so many things that can happen. I mean, G2 had a difficult map just now, but they did manage to come out on top. So all the pick'ems are looking okay for the time being. Everything's fine. But yeah, Gambit, obviously they are one of the best teams in the world, but Ence they're climbing. They're climbing. You can only get so much information from what's happened in the past. And I think Ence's trajectory is quite clearly upwards, but are they going to be slowed down by the likes of Gambit on Overpass? That is a question that we wait to find out an answer to.
Yeah, they were Ence were another one which was it was difficult because with the pick'ems, that is, because obviously that's an important thing everyone cares about. For me, it was like very difficult. Do I put them in or like over a phase, over a heroic? I didn't even put heroic in my top 8, which is interesting.
Me neither. But the thing is, like, the pick'ems are tactical, you know. So it's not like you don't think they're going to qualify necessarily. You just like basically.
How can I guarantee myself?
Yeah, you should put the people who are most likely to qualify in the bottom, not in the 3-0. Because if you put like Na'Vi in your 3-0 and they drop a map, that pick is useless for you now. So, which I learned, you know, in a challenger stage. So I put Na'Vi down the bottom of everyone else because they should qualify. You know what I'd love to see stats on? If you looked at if you just took like HLTV rankings, right, and you just put all the highest ranks in the bottom, and then put like, I don't know, the next highest in the 3-0, and then whatever in 0-3, like the lowest rank or whatever. I wonder how often that would get you past, say, the first 2 stages, like statistically. But you really have to, like, when you're doing predictions and so on, you really have to look at form as well. But you know, in like the month before a major, it can be hard to see all the form in the world. Like people were playing that Betway tournament, playing Train and Cash and stuff, which doesn't really tell you too much, obviously.
Also, like the levels of experience of the team and players versus the occasion, and it's interesting because we're in a spot on today where it's everybody's first game. So for a lot of teams, the pressure obviously is not going to be as severe as if they're in like that 2-2 scenario or something, something like that.
First game of the stage.
So they still have lives left, and you know, if you're looking at an Ence, a team that's already really warmed up, I feel like this is the perfect storm for them. Again, it's a great map for them. Obviously, Gambit's a great team. They're also, I think, as they were mentioning on the desk, very studied team. So, you know, people understand, you know, pretty well how Gambit plays. And for instance, it's a newer team on the block. So, again, I feel like there's a lot playing in their favor to facilitate an upset. Whether or not we'll see one is another question. But there's a lot of ways I can see that it could be a possibility.
Yeah. Still waiting for that last man to connect to the server from Gambit. Just 25 minutes behind, but that's, you know, I guess that's why they wanted like minimum teams moving around and so on, because it takes so long for people to get set up, especially if you've got like really weird monitor settings, like you're playing some potato 4x3 low res. It can cause problems sometimes. So we shall see how long it takes this last man to get onto the server. But
yeah.
Okay. So I've just been told it was a monitor problem. So I imagine that it was exactly what I thought it was in those low sense, because those.
You feeling better about your pick'ems now?
Those can cause issues. Do you know what? It's never been. I think in the later stages of Berlin, it was difficult, but I feel like it's never been so scary. But it is really interesting because it gives you such an investment.
Yeah.
Into these matches.
Definitely.
If you remember the lounge days, where all the Asimovs in the game were basically being put on matches and so on, that was fun. Like what we would do before, you know, like commentators weren't allowed to do things like that anymore, explicitly, obviously. All the skins you didn't want, just the junk skins that were worth like 3 cents or something, you just use them for that.
Yeah, that's
but
true.
It would give you an extra investment.
That's true. That's
in the matches, which was really fun.
Yes.
But this is a great way because, you know, those diamond coins, man.
Yeah. The trade up journeys with stuff that was rubbish, and then maybe you get a few good calls, and then that was a lot of fun. I definitely agree. But it was operating term was banned, of course. Well, not banned, but obviously it's not allowed.
I need that diamond coin. I need a diamond coin. Triple diamond would be like maybe the greatest achievement of my life.
That's why we need the signatures in the game, James, to make up for the fact that we're not allowed to partake in other ways. But well, I guess that's a whole topic this major as well. The signatures coming in just for the playoff teams.
I want to have like some rogue team which is not signed one day heading into a major. And be like, look.
Oh, you want to own the team?
No. But I'll be like, guys, let's be Team Bardolph.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll sell mad stickers.
Oh, I see.
We'll sell mad stickers.
I remember this idea.
Let's get my head in the game.
I remember. I remember this idea.
It'd have to be the biggest sticker because I've got a really big head.
Yeah, it does. James is taking submissions for the logo for this endeavor.
There are a few team Bardolphs. There was one that was playing in ESEA. There's one in Australia. Yeah, there's at least 2.
Nice. Well, I think this game is going to be very different compared to with the game we just saw, the FaZe EG game. The EG games, you know, it kind of it's bittersweet. It's cool to see that FaZe is in great form, but also, you know, it's kind of one of those situations where it's abundantly clear that, you know, EG is just not sort of in the major form right now, and you know, we're likely seeing changes for that team after the major and so on. So they're just one of the teams that got caught out by the timing of all of this, and it's just a bit unfortunate. But with that said, you know, FaZe was like I mean, they look really. I'm super excited to see them now because they're also a team that's very good in terms of scaling up their ability throughout big tournaments because they have a lot of big game players, you know, Karrigan included. I mean, who, like, in terms of IGLs, you know, how many IGLs would you rather have than Karrigan in a really big match? I feel like he's got to be one of the most desirable IGLs to have in like very important games, and so that's an exciting prospect to see their form going forward. And with Ence and Gambit, you know, Ence could really solidify themselves here with a, you know, quick 1-0 start if they're to kind of upset Gambit. And I think, you know, will be very strong contenders for that top 8 for many people. And I selected them to qualify as well. And there's a lot of question marks as well, you know, James, around some of the bigger lineups. How well is Liquid going to play? Liquid could be hot or cold. I could see them going either way. Similarly with, you know, a team like Vitality, you know, they can always rely on ZywOo, but how difficult? How much does he need to carry? You know, there's lots of different questions with all of the established teams at the moment as well.
Yep. Yeah, there certainly are. And just looking at, you mentioned you would expect some changes for EG post-major. I wouldn't be surprised either. But we see that Complexity have released Blame F. He was removed from the team, which is quite interesting. So that's definitely going to be an interesting situation. Well, while this, we'll pick that up in a second. While this monitor situation gets sorted out, we're going to head to a quick break. Don't go too far because we're staying right here. It's time to begin. Indeed, we are back. Everyone's on the server. The game is about to start. It's starting right now, actually. Let's go straight into it. The pistol round has begun, if I'm not mistaken. Let's get into the game. Ence versus Gambit. We begin. Best of 1 territory. We are on overpass. There is a nice... you can jump on one of those cylindrical thingy-majiggies, those sewer things where Snappy is standing for a nice angle. Cog. It's not a cog. Anyway, a nice angle towards a short position. Don't see it too often these days, but it does exist, and it's a good one to know. Have a look at that hair. That hair is on fleek. I don't know what that means, but people say fleek, so there we go.
Good job, good job.
Yep, Hobbit charging into the A bomb site with the Glock. He's got all those bullets, trying to land that headshot. As we can see, there is one player in the back. Let's get the X-ray up, see who play. Exiled by Optimus, but there are too many man on road for Ence, who are looking for an early upset versus the likes of Gambit now. 4 versus 2 as Nafani wonders what to do. Where's the bomb?
That's a good question.
Maybe there is no bomb.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be the first round that's existed with no bomb.
Yeah, I was going to say.
So.
It's got to be under a CT on the minimap or something. That's any explanation.
Maybe there's no bomb.
There it is.
Okay.
There it is.
There we go.
Well, Shiro is going to be seeing if he can find the opening here. Nope, baited. Doto will take him down. So, not too much to be done here. Nafani with that P50 will get eliminated too. Good shots coming in from Doto to lock it all in. There's the CT start of dreams, the one pistol. Now it's about converting against the eco. No bomb was planted, so no money really for a sizable force buy. I'll be surprised to see it from Gambit.
I'm like the guy who wears polos in CSGO, and Gambit have not sent me a polo. I'm very disappointed. Very disappointed. There's a nice colours, there's a strong colours, some blue and red. I think it's a nice change to the jersey. It looks like it's a bit warmer, and studios can often be a little chilly, a little on the colder side. So I'm a fan of, as we can see from the, some people are wearing underlayers with the jersey on top. But I feel like they'll be a little warm. Of course, they are short-sleeved. Well, we've got a pause. I think Ence were talking to the admins after that first game. So there'll be a little pause here. But winning the pistol, certainly good. And it seems that we are good to go. The contact of the fists will indicate that we are ready. Maybe that's deliberately done to just, because they are in high-pressure situations. But perhaps that just stops people getting frustrated with each other. They have to be nicey-nicey after each round. I would rather focus on my screen, and not have to lift my hands up and just throw them towards my teammates. Just let me zone in on the proceedings.
Well, can help you feel zoned in as well. Getting the fist bump. Feel connected to your teammate. Need that connection. So only Glocks here for Gambit, so indeed it's a full save for them. Objectives, drain out the utility of your opponents, which you can do by playing pretty slow. But as we can see, we have Ence that's opted for M4 FAMAS. They don't have a huge amount of util going into this round anyways.
It's a nice popper color on that FAMAS.
Yeah, it's really nice.
He's patiently just having a look-see. Don't think he realizes, not sure if he realizes that he's seen 3 different players, but he's seen at least 2. Pretty relaxed, pretty calm is Hades. Snappy keeping an eye on things. Ence looks pretty comfortable for now. They are up against Glocks at this point. I think Hobbit had a Desert Eagle, but everyone else had the Glocks.
Yeah, you just don't want to give a single kill to your opponents here. You would expect that Spinks would just chill for the rest of the round, let his teammates fill in, and it's happening.
Hades has a lot of trigger discipline, I've noticed, in all the engagements, the opportunities he had. Just looking for information, so we'll see if that has a story to tell as this map continues. So, on the 3rd round, we'll see the AK-47s for Gambit. Hobbit will be shy of grenades due to the Desert Eagle, but the rest will have a lot of flashbangs, smokes. Just the one Molotov in the hands of Exile. So I do wonder if we're going to see a faster round from Gambit now on this first buy round of the half.
Yeah, full util basically, more or less. Only Hobbit to not have everything. And Ence are
55.
yeah, they get the H-Unit onto Shiro, but otherwise, other than that, they're playing somewhat passively here for control. Both Hobbit and Axe are looking after Monster as well for now, and of course we've got the bomb there as well on Inters, so the expectation is to finish on that B site, but they have presence towards A as well. Good opening pick from Hobbit, though, found deep on a Monster defender. That is a huge win, and that's going to force Snappy to actually make a play in Connector. They've got to get something back in their courts, and it looks like, oh, how was he alive? Snappy somehow able to actually back out of that one. Unbelievable.
I have to assume Shiro is looking at the radar or something, because it's inexcusable otherwise not to get a kill there.
Crazy.
That is a huge opportunity for Gambit to make it 5v3 and really shut down the round.
I mean, 1+ is just that they didn't get a huge amount of information. As far as Ence are concerned, it could still be a B play. It could still be, you know, a Monster play just as well as an A play. They don't really have vision on most of the map. So that's the 1+. And okay, we'll see Hobbit finding a way to finish off Snappy.
Yeah, and Ence at this point may want to stack a bomb site. They'll hear flashes towards A, but 3 versus 5 with Dihar pretty low. I would imagine they'll just try to save at this point, just quietly moving away. Note how they are shift walking. They're not running away because that would tell Gambit they're running away and maybe they'll be hunted. They won't give that information, but just slowly slink away with the shift key held down so as not to concede their position. An early advantage there for Gambit. Of course, it wasn't the full buy from Ence. The weapons they took from the early rounds are present here, so we may see a better look of Ence later on. No AWPs yet for either side, of course. But it's nice to have some early success on the board as far as Gambit are concerned. The first buy round is theirs. There are still 4 players on the server looking for their first kill, 3 of which are on the Gambit side. Inter, Shiro, and Nafani. No kills just yet. But we'll keep an eye on these things.
So, starting off pretty well for Ence overall. Full buy on this next round, and the AWP is coming in to hand here for Ence. So that's going to be... We can see that it is, of course, in the hands, as you would expect, of Hades. Been pretty wonderful this tournament so far. Looking for the quick peek, the elevated peek towards T-Ramp. It's not going to see all that much just yet. And oh no, Doto getting a freebie through the smoke there on Monster Tunnel. I was about to say that is where the emphasis is here for Gambit in this round, around this Monster position. And with Suez control as well, look how active Ence are. This is great to see from them. And Gambit have nothing on the map right now except Connector.
Yeah, going back to the Challenger stage, I think this is a good proactive example for Movistar Riders, for example, who are a bit too passive in their overpass and taking control of the map and really limiting what Gambit can do. They find themselves in a 4 versus 3 now. Ence still with control of the short B position. Doto sees the flashbang coming, but still eats a little too much of it. That will give Gambit some map control now, although Snappy will try to creep forward with no warning, no flashes, no nothing, and that's an important kill for him. And he knows that one of the remaining 2 players at least is outside Monster as he sees that Molotov land at the barrels. So that's a lot of information for Ence, which will make Gambit even more scared.
Yeah, I really like how Snappy was playing that, just trying to use the sound cues, understanding that they just killed his teammates, so they got a clear position.
Or working for them and
working against mid-clear. They got a clear position.
Or working
happened. And now I'm just resting on the B site with 2 players. And they have Spinks who's pretty close to A, so they're just setting up for retake on A. Oh, unfortunately, that's the bomb down as well, which will certainly be a huge sigh of relief there for Ence. They know everything now. And Shiro is so far away from the action, unable to really have any impact here now.
I wonder what the plan was, considering the time and where Shiro is.
Yes.
With the molly on short by the bomb carrier. That's...
Yeah, I don't know how they connect up to kind of play off of each other. I'm kind of trying to work it out too. Not really sure.
Yeah,
but
like is he throwing a molly and running?
Kind of trying to work it out too.
Up connector.
Not really sure.
Yeah, like is he throwing a molly and... Well, 3-1 for Ence. Gambit are in a position to buy once again. Inters could drop an AWP and be running.
Kind of.
Inters could drop an AWP and see 3 players haven't bought just yet for Gambit. Hobbits picks up an AK. Still waiting for Inters to make his play. Yeah, so far so good for Ence. It's nice to see early proactiveness. No AWP for Gambit after all, as you can see. But yeah, the proactiveness from Ence with map control and so on is good. We're in for a competitive game of overpass. I think people are expecting quite a lot from Gambit at this major, and you do wonder if the pressure may play a part in things, but we'll have to see. Very early stages here for this game, though, not this major.
Yeah. Full buy again, and again, you know, Gambit's trying to stick towards the B side of the map early on, but they're not really looking for early sewers control. But I'll hold that thought. We might have an engagement here for Naf, and he be sort of defaulting, you know, slowly poking and prodding around long, as well as Party, and Spinks being so ready by the boulder could cause some problems. Might be a timing for him. Gambit walking through Monster now onto the B site. And, I mean, there are players here. Doto in the water is going to win that battle, and there's more players to go. He's got to try to delay this one. Oh, great job so far. Doto! He's been traded out, but it's a 2v3 here. It's doable for Ence.
Yeah, bomb falling back a little towards Monster, just in case. You can see Spinks is on a very long rotation. And Gambit may slow things down now, which may not be in their favor, as they don't know what the climate is with the remainder of the players. You can see Hades is posted up, so to speak. But generally, you'd want to stay on the left side of that pillar from the T perspective, with an AWP in an ideal situation, holding the right-hand side. May see the likes of that from Simple later on. Well, bomb planted. They still don't know where either player is. Spinks coming through from the back, and Shiro can focus on that. They are set up now, Ence. Nafany's got short, so Shiro can focus, although he's looking towards CT as well. Spinks making his way through. Now he's eating the flashbang. The multi-frag is here, and now Nafany finds himself in some trouble. Playing the off angles, avoiding the flashbang. Oh, what is he up to now? They know exactly where he is. Trying to avoid. That bomb is pretty far taken. There's actually no cover. There's no meat shield, no nothing. Nafany just trying to waste time as best he can. Gets the final kill as well. See if he can grab an AWP. No, just the AK, and he's going to die anyway. But that is a round for Gambit.
Yeah, really surprising. You know, Ence had a smoke, a flashbang. They had utility to shut down that short position, but opted to just try to go for the stick.
See the slightest frustration there with Ence.
Yeah, that I think they definitely felt like they should have won that one for sure. That 2v1.
Yeah, what's going on with the lack of cover on the bomb diffuser?
Yeah, it looks very disconnected, didn't it? They weren't really sort of playing together there, and the person going for the defuse was the one with all the util as well.
Yeah,
the smoke, the flash.
There it is, noise cancelling headphones again. I have those in my bag. Those good. These, I don't know what these are.
These are the 4 esports.
No, the in-ears.
Oh right, okay. All right. Well, here's the replay. Just no coordination there. It seems.
Yeah. Like why have I got no cover? Why is there no cover for the bomb diffuser? That's a very good question. And but again, if you're gonna mess something up, do it early. Do it in round 5, not round 25.
Well, there's still time to do it in round 25 as well.
Certainly is. A lot of flashbangs for Ence. They've got some M4s as well, and they will be aggressing, trying to make something happen. They had a lot of rifles though, but maybe they felt like that wasn't enough, trying to make the flashbangs work out. Spinks has an opportunity, although it dwindles a little as Snappy gets deleted and Spinks is soon to go as well, which leaves Hades in a 1 versus 3. The money's together, the bomb's not planted. Seems he was considering it. Maybe he still is. He doesn't have a kit. I'm not sure if there's one around the site. Got to be careful about running in this position because beyond this wall on the left, because a player on connector would hear him run. Beyond this wall on the left, because a player on connector would hear him run. Beyond this wall on the left, so it seems he will be saving. He's basically looking for the opponent Gambit to give him an opportunity to try and clutch it, but they're not going to do that. So he'll be hiding in plain sight.
Yep, this round.
Oh, he's doing it with no handstand.
I know. Yeah, so I've been watching it the whole time. Yeah.
He's an octopus.
So many limbs. So it's going to be the third round for Gambit. So coming back into this one, it did feel like Ence were in such a good spot and looked really cozy, just very comfy in the with the AWP and the positions that they had. But yeah, it's suddenly it's all changed. It's all changing quite quickly for them here, and suddenly Gambit is starting to look a lot better. And even though Gambit aren't really taking ground early on, I feel like Ence are winning the early map control battle, given the fact that Gambit aren't pressuring Suez really. They're not really trying to explore connector quickly, and they're also not going towards bathrooms or long wall that quickly, generally speaking, on these defaults. That said, it's eco territory, just with the saved M4. That's all that there is to play with in this round, and we'll have a long push with the M4. Oh, it's been deflected expertly.
Yeah, Snappy was in tow with a flashbang. I would have liked to have seen, I mean, we saw A play with it, and Snappy's picks up the M4 and tries to fall back and hold on to it. I love that skin that Icarus fell. Snappy, can he find a third one? Oh, he's almost winning the round alone on long. Has he seen the bomb, though? No, he hasn't. It's down by connector at present, and Shiro needs to stay alive to rotate that bomb. Spinks can collect the M4 in the meantime. Dihara and Doto getting their boost game on towards short. We'll see if there's going to be a swing from Exile. Gets his bell rung, but with a USP, won't be too concerned with that. In fact, he's got 97 HP.
He dinked Hobbit. He had enough time to dink Hobbit just before dying there. So it is still quite doable if Doto can survive here. Doto, oh, he found just a small moment there, looking for all the damage, and they're all one headshot away from death now, so Spinks can do this. But time is really against Spinks, given that there is no kit in hand, and they know precisely where he's coming from. It's going to be easy. He's found the damage, though. And given how low Shura and Axel are, it is still a possibility, but it has to be quick. Again, almost no time for a defuse here. Would need the full 10 seconds. So it looks like it's not going to be happening here for Spinks, but at least damage is on the board. Remove some of those guns. The money's not good here at all for Gambit. So this puts Ence in a position where if they win the next round, they can take economic control. The question is, do we want to see any alterations from Ence's openings? And I'm hard pressed to say yes there, because I feel like what they've been doing early on has been giving them advantages. They take a lot of grounds early on.
Exile could have dropped an AWP in this round, but he bought a few grenades, which leaves him short now. I don't know if they didn't notice or if they're just chilling and don't need an AWP right now. Maybe they'll look to take one away from the CTs when an opportunity arises. We'll need to wait for one of the Ence players to reconnect to the server before we continue. And one of the Gambit players. Definitely needs to reconnect as well, but indeed there was an opportunity to buy an AWP. So we haven't really seen like a full buy from both sides, I feel like, just yet.
Not quite, no.
I want to see the full output, you know?
Yes, no, exactly. That's what I'm looking forward to as well, which is why I'm sort of trying to understand what adjustments we may get going into the following defaults, because so far Gambit's been very passive, and Ence is kind of getting what they want at the beginning of the round, and that's the thing that's not so encouraging about what we're seeing from Ence so far, is that they're not converting off of that super well at the moment. However, what is really great to see is, I think you highlighted this, is that, and I think you used an example, maybe it was Spirit possibly not being sort of active enough on the map on the CT side, and Ence is really good at that mid-round reaction. So if something happens as a pick somewhere, they immediately are thinking, what is open on the map, what space can we take, and how can we sort of be proactive and take initiative. That's a wonderful sign for Ence. But as we go back into the round, we can take stock of the buy here, and you were mentioning we haven't really seen a proper full buys yet. We have a MAC-10 in play here by Axile. No AWPs present at all.
I think this is a very deliberate MAC-10. He had the best spawn into the B bomb site, and it is going to be a fast one. They had money for 5 AKs, but that MAC-10 can run and gun. And he can create space for his team, but Diha's going to take that space away. Running out of bullets eventually. That HG is going to do some good damage, which means they are one-shottable now with these silenced M4s, and Snappy will be looking for that. Finds an angle on Shiro, and he really holds things down here. The fast play has not worked out for Gambit. And again, we spoke about the economy already. Inters with the AK-47 left in a 1 versus 3. He has time on his side.
Yeah, unfortunate round for Gambit. I think the fast timing through Monster makes a lot of sense, given that Ence have been reasonably passive, but they have been more active around the Suez position. So had it been the case that they would push sewers early timing, then Gambit get through Monster, get onto the site, and they've isolated the defense quite effectively. But their gamble did not work out in that instance. But as you say, Inter's 1v3 has the bomb in hand. He's found his way up the A-long position and might be able to get a plant here, especially if he gets a good timing onto Hades, who is playing front bathrooms right now, or back bathrooms, I should say. Is there a spot here? No, not visible toward Divider. Inters must surely hear the stepping. Oh, good headshot, but there's the trade from Hades from bathrooms, and that is so important. And that's going to be 4-4, Ence tying things up. And unfortunately, again, we mentioned it, the economy was not really all that stable for Gambit, so they will be saving in this round. And Ence should be back to winning ways.
Yeah, that was a really important multi-frag on the B-bomb site. Early molly on T-ramp. Let's see what Gambit have. Gone for the force buy here with the Galils and the AKs.
They're playing the same kind of setup as they are in a lot of their defaults, actually, where they have a 3 outside monster and then 2 kind of working towards the A side of the map early on. And perhaps this is to kind of play counter to your teams who like to push monster, because, you know, typically some teams will have 1 lurk looking after monster, so you can make a 2-man push with a flashbang and to catch that player, but it's not happening. And these are the most deep players here for Gambit, and Spinks is going to get flashed back over. Nice entry coming through there, though, at the same time on the other side of the map towards Monster Tunnel. So that's the B site entered now. And the bomb to go down.
It's a tight game of overpass so far. No one's really found comfort with money and so on. Hades doesn't know if anybody's down there now, due to that molly being extinguished. 4 versus 3. Do you push in and lose everything here? Well, that's really got to cut things off, and it's going to quickly escalate for Ence. That's a very rough position.
Yeah.
A very, very rough position for them. Difficult decision to make when you're so close to the bomb site as well, but indeed it will be very costly. And Gambit will scurry away and take the lead. And again, it's a difficult situation for Ence. We saw them with some chances with a solo rifle, but we cannot really expect much.
It's actually really interesting what Gambit are doing, like strategically right now, because they're playing really passive, as we mentioned. They'll leave 2 players to sort of clear the A side of the map, and then there's 3 just hanging out by Monster. So those 3 players are able to find timings towards that B site where maybe they're in the mid-round, the rotation for the CTs kind of drifts away, and maybe they can isolate 1 player, or maybe the CTs are trying to make an info play and you've got 3 players there to punish. So it gives you a lot of options in that mid-round. So that kind of petrifies, I believe, the CT defense somewhat, because you're not sure when Gambit are going to make a move like that. So if it is the case that conditions Ence to play more passively on the B site and to play more passively in general, they're going to be able to start ramping up the pace, and they'll get more for free on the A side of the map, I would imagine, as we start to see them defaulting and making alterations. Maybe they won't make alterations, James. Maybe that's the mind games.
Where's the grip tape at? I wonder how many players have grip tape on their mice at this LAN. Probably very, very few.
Yeah, surprising, because grip tape is very good.
Yeah, especially for the finishes on many mice, but I think there's a lack of awareness. Some people have the clammy hand problem as well, so it can certainly help with that. I just find it easier, especially if you have a high sens and or a small mouse and you throw it around a lot. It certainly helps.
So the boost here for Hades to try to find something, the only rifle, the only firepower really on the team. And Gambit just running an anti-eco setup early on, so it's different to those kind of gun round defaults. Instead, very passive around connector, just making sure that anything is pushed towards the B side of the map. You've got Axar to cover for that. So we get to the 1 minute mark, they have to start to make a move. So they can start to clear space towards the site. Now they've isolated that there's no forward plays.
2 players smoking the same position at once.
Just boosting Hades around the map.
Hello. Wonder if they saw his helmet. T-Hell with some jump peaks, but again, there's not too much that we can expect from Ence at the very least. Very methodical from Gambit. Look at the utility. They are giving them no space to breathe as they get a very easy, uncontested, essentially, bomb plant thanks to their brilliant use of utility.
Yeah. Yeah, you have to know your advantages and how to play them effectively. And so, like, for any super top elite level team, you can't be dropping the ball when you have rounds like this where you have massive advantages. You've got to understand the best ways to approach those rounds. You can't do the same thing every time, obviously, because then a team can kind of counter-strat you on the fly. So you need to offer, you know, a couple looks, and that's oftentimes why you'll also see teams start like Gambit did, where it's super passive. So if there's any rush timings, anything like that, you can just remove that variance completely by playing slow. But at the same time, it also prevents the other team from really knowing how you're going to finish the round, because there's no tells in the early or even the mid rounds. So good stuff from Gambit on rounds such as that, and that's going to give them the 6-4. Ence are actually sort of struggling so far on this CT side.
Yeah, but again, I think that both teams have stopped each other from even getting to like $6,000, let's say. Like now it's round 11 and we see Shiro with the AWP for the first time. So certainly that's always going to, that kind of war of attrition is always going to hurt the CT team more, which is proving very difficult for Ence. And if you're light on utility, you may feel encouraged to go for those aggressive plays, like when we saw they had, I think, 3 M4s and a FAMAS, and they went for those very aggressive plays, presumably feeling really vulnerable, going for aggressive plays on B through Monster and Short B and so on, which resulted in heavy losses. So looking at our secondary screens here, they've got a reasonable level of utility, so I won't expect that kind of urgency from them. But now we've got Shiro on the AWP. We'll see what the young man is made of.
Yeah, they're going heavier towards A as well. Their default's changed here, and that might catch Ence off a little bit. Looking to be going a bit faster towards A as well. Not the 3 players towards Monster. This time also Ence are pushing Suez as we expect. So Ence will get some control back on the map as they take Suez control. Oh, Hobbit's there. He is able to just get one though. And Dota's falling back, gets sprayed through the wood a little bit. Big opening victory for Gambit. Getting that 4 versus 4. And there's very little util left for Ence.
Yeah, and still with some presence in Short B, and they've got toilets for now, so they're in positions where they can get some information, and this round can still change. The noise cut by Gambit. Spinks moves to an off angle. We can see Gambit seems to be focused on the A-bomb site. Bomb carrier just waiting outside connector. That is Exile. "47 seconds. And Gambit seemed to be reading the A-bomb site. Again, they had Short B. But he's not having that. Would make things a lot more difficult for them. Another smoke on long, but Exile's able to creep up and catch Spinks off guard. And now they're just creeping through the smoke on long as well. So there's going to be a lot of problems here for Ence very, very quickly. Hades will soon go down as well, just edging forward to hide from toilets, not realizing that they were just standing on the site as well. Completely outmaneuvered Ence. Gambit just creeping and creeping. Like a spider in the bathroom, Dan.
Yeah, they're doing a great job. They're doing a really great job. It just looks so methodical too, and there's enough of... You can see the dilemma for Ence. They just don't really know. They don't have the information to know. They have to kind of passively just sit there waiting and have positions that can kind of cover for both options, A or B. And that just sucks compared with what we saw from Ence, or rather, sorry, from Gambit, where they're able to just put all the focus on that A site and slowly creep up. It's super coordinated. They've been so stable so far, I have to say. Gambit, they look very disciplined.
Yeah. You can see the body language on Ence, on Spinks. Frustrated by the pace and execution of Gambit, perhaps. And they find themselves on pistols once again, Ence. We have Shiro over $6,000 now. Same with Nafani. I don't know why I keep saying that. Connector can be a very dangerous place versus an eco, especially those CZs. So, curious to see how deep Hobbit will go. Now, he can wait for his teammates to help clear things as well. If you kind of split the connector position, so to speak, from top and bottom. That can be pretty interesting. Sees a flashbang, and he will choose to get out of there. Don't want to give a rifle up, and this is a much better situation for him. Nice angle. Speaking of nice angles, Nafany behind enemy lines. We have 2 players stuck in connector for the time being, but they can escape through short B, but they'll have to rotate. Doto with the 5-7 on the site, trying to do what he can. A headshot, but not close enough for the one shot. DH will try to move into position with the Desert Eagle now, as Inters is waiting, and he'll finish Nafany off and reposition to bank. 4 versus 3 for Gambit, as they are still needing to catch up with their teammate Inters, who's just trying to stay alive and stay careful on the bomb site.
Yeah, some stepping there for Inters. Oh, wow. Full expectation, but it's DH with the snappy Deagle headshot. And maybe there's more to be had here. Just working from the back of Dice eventually. Will be surrounded, though. And Snappy has the 5-7. It's not looking good in this engagement, of course. Not too much to be done. Gambit with another plant. And looking to just grab that 8th round convincingly.
Yeah, this is death by paper cuts for Ence. Some nice 5-7 work from Snappy. So maybe we will see an increase in the 5-7 over the Desert Eagle in the Legend stage at the very least. Challenger stage, we saw a lot of Deagle attempted. I feel like in the previous map we saw more successful Deagles from Breeze than we maybe saw, generally speaking, in the matches we casted the last few days.
Yep, definitely. Yeah, it's big half so far from Gambit, and it may just get even bigger because we haven't really had much in the way of signs of life from Ence so far. I think it feels as though they're kind of getting just sucked into Gambit's playstyle, and they don't really have a way to... that we're not really seeing good counterplay against Gambit's pacing. Gambit just kind of playing slow, keeping things methodical, and we don't really see any wrenches thrown into what they're doing by Ence.
Well, now maybe is the opportunity. Hades will have the AWP again. He has the worst spawn for A, though. And he is facing B at present, so maybe he'll do something towards the lower area. So I don't think we'll see an aggressive party play from Hades as we saw previously. You can see him there.
Yeah. And it could be a good moment for Gambit to go back to their previous default, where they have 3 outside monster. They play really slow towards playground, anticipating that Ence are going to change something here. We'll see, though, what Gambit opt to do.
Yep, so Hades is going downstairs. And there's a big focus from Gambit towards the B-bomb sites as well. Actually, Spinks will take an aggressive angle around Party just to throw some grenades, and he will chill. Doto again will be pursuing the short B position. Ooh, Nafany will be punished by DH. Down he goes, doesn't see much of anything, and he's dead. So it's a great start for Ence. Again, they've been prioritizing the short B position, and that will certainly help them as all of Gambit are outside Monster. And Hades says hello, so this is proving to be a very difficult round for Gambit indeed.
Yeah, it's really interesting because, you know, they don't go for anyone towards the A side of the map. So they were basically waiting for a timing to just rush into the B site in the mid round. Perhaps in response to Ence leaving some position on B in favor of sewers, possibly. It's hard to say, but it's 3 versus 4 here for Gambit to recover. Definitely recoverable. And they've cut noise insofar as like there's enough time they could have rotated back to the other side of the map, or looking for the timing, and it's going to be a full punish from DH. Axel trying to win the battle against the orb there actually is going to be successful somehow.
Yeah, that gives him a chance because there are still players upstairs for Ence, which means they may have equal numbers on the B bomb site, but how can Gambit know this? The flank is coming in eventually. This has got to be a good angle for DH. The crouch pick from Axel, he's just faster. And now we're in a 2 versus 1 as he's traded by Spinks. Shiro now has got 20 seconds to try and get a bomb plant out of this. He'll do some more damage, but he won't be able to do so. Ence make it to 5.
Yeah, good opening there from Ence. I mean, they stacked 4 players on B, so they had the absolute right call for what Gambit was doing, without knowing that. So fortunately for Ence, there is some serendipity finally, and we'll see if they can keep that going. You know, they played the AWP, you know, with the spawn, as you mentioned. He's having that B spawn, so maybe we'll see him play spawn based once again. And I believe he's going towards the A site right now. Indeed. I can see that Hades is in fact towards bathrooms, alongside the bathrooms here. Again, really passive opening from Gambit. Very slow approach towards Party and Long. Spinks is by the boulder once more. Spinks wants to fight. He's committed to this engagement.
Gambit really just not giving the info. Very few sound cues. You can see Hobbit moving around without walking, but apart from that, it's just shifting very, very early. Really playing a careful game. It's got to be uncomfortable for Ence, even with a 5 versus 4. Spinks is starting to flank now, but actually, no, with Hades by the toilets area, that's a lot of information for Ence very quickly indeed. Now see that nobody is here, and this pretty much confirms that everybody's going to be towards the B-bomb site again, which means that Ence can start to visualize, they can be expectant, putting down the smokes to cut the site in half already. Doto trying to avoid as much as he can. Hobbit now with a pop flash, and Axlar's going to make his way forward actually. He could find 2 from this, almost, but not quite. Diha holds down the map control, very important frag for him. Hobbit's here to eliminate Snappy, the numbers game will overwhelm on the site, but Hades still has some angles, and Spinks is coming in from the back.
Yeah, Hobbit's been tagged down to 8 health, so this is so doable here for Spinks. That element of surprise, his teammate goes down, but there's still solid opportunity here if he can just get a free pick, especially on the water player, the healthy player. Here goes Spinks, rounding the corner, the angle's being held. It's a better position for Inter. Spinks still wins it, knows precisely where Hobbit is, goes for the tap, and he's waiting, and he's so quick. And there's plenty of time for Spinks. Ence pick up one more round, making it to 6.
Again, great proactive play. Ence figured out the information, the flank from Long, the player at Divider, gives him all the info to get that flank at the right time. Last man standing wins it, and we move to the last round of the first half. Ence keep the score close, 6-8 of Gambit, which is a pretty good side for pretty good half for Gambit so far. I think 8 rounds, not too shabby. These are both strong teams.
Yeah, definitely, and especially on the T side as well. And it has been very cool to see Gambit's pacing, their very quiet approach like you were mentioning. It does make it very uneasy for Ence, who it's hard to get information safely. And we see the same opening as we did in the previous round from Gambit. 3 players initially towards the A side of the map. Axlar looking after any pushes on Monster, which we might have. In fact, Diha gets the pick, looking through Monster with Doto's support. It's early victory, but there's a quick trade, and they may just have to run it down after that, surely.
Hades looking to do something crazy, but Gambit are very aware. Now they start to speed up. Snappy just on an island, but Nafany's going to delete him as well, and this may be a very fast last round of the first half. Doto in a 1 versus 4. I like having a sniper boosted on those shelves, looking towards the party position. They had it the other way around there, but Hobbit was ready for it. Former champion Hobbit. Little jiggle, not sure if he saw much of anything there. I think he did, because they start to creep on him, and it will be 9 rounds for Gambit at half-time. So, I think from Gambit's perspective, it's a pretty good half score-wise. From Ence's perspective, it could have been a lot worse. You can see some frustrations, but they are up against a very dangerous team, and the pace that Gambit set was, I don't know, it's uncomfortable, but I have to credit Ence for still being proactive and trying to look for that info. Not every round went their way, and they would have loved the score to be the other way around. But again, if it was a more passive team, I think they get smashed completely there.
Yeah, Gambit looked really stable. Very, very stable. It looks like it was their server, and Ence is connected to their server, and Ence is, subject to playing their game. It's really how it felt. I think, as you described it, certainly would have felt very uneasy for Ence, I think, the entire time. Again, it just seemed very hard for them to get information, and very risky, because of how slow Gambit was playing, how quiet Gambit was playing. But there we go, 9-6, and now we go into the second half. Can Gambit mount a solid defense here?
But the smoke on the balcony immediately. Shiro is completely blind. Beautiful chain flashes coming into the B bomb site. Ence trying to do what he can, as is Hobbit. Fast headshots, leaving it a 2 versus 2 now. Ence on the site. Gambit shifting, repositioning. No kill on the final 2 players, and Ence are on the hunt, it looks like. They are going after them, and Hobbit's going to engage 1v1. Has a very, very quick look, 20 HP for him. He can't really go up against a Glock spam. He has to really be careful, but Ence are looking to go past him. This has become very interesting, this pistol round. Spinks is walking back into the angles of Hobbit. Too many angles for him to deal with, which will leave Snappy in a 1 versus 1. He needs to try and isolate these fights now. He'll put himself in a deep position. Got to land that headshot though, but it'll be Exile to do it. That could have been anyone's, but it's Gambit's.
Yeah. Yeah, they pick up the pistol, and they did get the bomb down, so might actually see a force buy from Ence. I would expect to see it. I think it could be really good if they've got some good rounds to this. Then it could be really good to see it, especially in a map like Overpass. You can get a lot done with util, and you can so like there's lots of different styles you could approach this with. You could play a very util heavy style and go for a set piece with mostly pistols onto that B site, or you could try to play get a couple AKs, play the ranges towards the long positions, and use the firepower advantage, and then pick up the guns if someone dies with the AKs. So there's lots of different approaches you can take. They go for the 2 AKs, or actually sorry, the 1 AK and the 1 Galil. Didn't have enough for another AK, I suppose.
Exile being real careful. Had a few sound cues there. But you don't want to outstay your welcome.
Приветствую вас, зрители, подписчики, а также друзья моего канала «Компьютеры для начинающих» от Влада. Сегодня я вам в частности, первое, у вас атаки по пространству такой операционной системы переходим к
Yeah, it's only Hobbit that doesn't have a helmet too, so that's pretty good for Gambit.
Же флеш-носителя. Ну а дальше...
Early AWP for Shiro. He has support from 1 player on long. He can fall back to bank though, because he has that security on the long, so I'll give him the space to fall away. Blind for
Восстановление Windows 10.
Rotation will be required now.
Shift F
And
Flash.
is on the way. They're lining up though.
После перезапуска Shift.
She just Hades on one. And here is the lineup. Nafi looking for a third. Secured quite a lot already. Dihad trying to do what he can. AK I'm sure will be collected, and that's a comfortable run for Gambit, at least in terms of how many are alive and so on. Force buy has failed, so we're likely looking at a 12-6 start to this half. Again, that 9-6 scoreline is very, very dangerous if you lose the pistol and you're on the worst end of that scoreline, because the struggle will most certainly be uphill. Quite the incline for Ence, assuming they lose this round. But they've gone for 4 Desert Eagles and a Tech 9, so let's not get too far ahead of ourselves.
Yeah, I think that was another good round that just demonstrates how this matchup's been going. In a Gambit, they kind of knew what was coming. They were really set up very well. They looked really coordinated and disciplined. And I love that style of approach that Gambit has, where they're really trying to just eliminate any possible edge their opponent could have in any given situation. It's very disciplined.
Shout outs to the A4 crew.
Ooh, Axel might be in trouble here. He's got players on either side.
Hobbit to the rescue. Doto and Hades remain. I think this is a good example of tactical shooter. this game we're seeing right now.
Yeah. Yeah, Gambit have come in here very, very prepared.
Aim punch not really going to help Doto there. Well, they get basically nothing done in that round, Ence, which is, sometimes it'd be like that. You are on eco after all. The AK-47s in a full utility will come out. Everybody with Molotovs. They almost have exactly the same buy. Molly, smoke, 2 flashes, and an AK-47. Hades and Spinks short of a flash, but apart from that, it's exactly the same. It's a big, long mirror. And indeed, they start their first 5 versus buy with half the score of Gambit. And if they lose this round, those percentages surely go down quite significantly indeed. Shiro in connector with the AWP. Now he'll need some security to help him escape back towards the toilets. No one's picking party. But you still need those flashes, etc. All right then, an early kill for Ence as they make their way into the B bomb site. Hobbit's going to have some work to do. He's still kind of on his own, pulling out the smoke grenade with Hades standing through Monster. That's a mistake. That's a huge error, leaving Nafany on his own. More trouble for Gambit on this B bomb site.
And Nafany's still able to hold things down though, and still having that presence, forward presence by the barrels. The flash goes through. He's unable to find too much from it. Will back away though. Trying to buy time for his teammates to come into the action here. Shiro will make his way around the corner with that AWP, and the boost will be here for Shiro too. So there might be another opportunity there, especially if this player comes up short. Shiro's looking for it. Nothing given just yet. That smoke is providing ample coverage. Just waiting for Ence to put 1 foot wrong. One mistake. Axile not working out on that angle. Doesn't win the battle. That would have been the pick that could really have allowed them to do something, but without the ability to pressure that short position, it looks like Gambit will give up on this one.
I've got to say, I really appreciate Nafany's taste in stickers on his M4. Because he's got one hollow at the front, and then the rest are non-hollow, which looks so much nicer than all hollow and just hollow spam. Like an RGB keyboard or something, like a Christmas tree. Just got the one hollow. There's a lot of taste. There's a lot. This is not the view, man. You can't even see the stickers. What are you doing? This is the view. So this is clean. This is tasteful, not tasteless. Yeah. It's not spam. I can respect that. I can appreciate that.
Nice, nice. All right. Well,
important round for Ence to win.
This could work out actually for Ence. This could be a good springboard back into the match because, you know, Gambit's their economy is going to be taking some L's on that one, and you know they have the opportunity to kind of make their mark. You know, start creating a scenario where Gambit has to play their game, because that's been the part of the problem, is that Ence have effectively been playing, you know, Gambit's pace and so on, and being very reactive. But that is, you know, sometimes the nature of that CT side. But you know, with that said, all AKs on board, still good enough money for the Gambit side. This is really the round to win if the comeback's to happen, I feel like. What might be difficult to deal with. Ence not really pressuring the A side of the map here. They're looking to just go into B. And Suez is being taken.
Oh no! Oh, they're looking for some grenade spam towards the barrels at the very least. Unclear if they were going to commit behind it, but that did look very awkward to deploy. No one's at the barrels anyway. But they don't really have any map control right now, which is kind of awkward.
Yeah, they wanted to go for that B play, but now they've lost. They got delayed too much, and then Gambit have Suez control now, so that makes it even worse.
Yeah, I think we can see Axile's on long. I don't know if he really goes further than this position. I think it would probably be a little crazy. So they're not going to get info from there. However, Hobbit has an angle if they go through the tunnel. Only if they go through the tunnel. But this is important. They have 2 more players on the B bomb site. I don't know if some sound cues have been heard there. You can see Shiro is on the move as well. Oh no, Hobbit's moving through connector. They're rotating towards the A bomb site. They have no idea what's going on. They're out of position now, and Shiro's going to have so much to do from this short spot. Hobbit needs to help him out here because he's wondering about his 6 as well. He's got grenades coming in his direction, and Gambit, unsure as to what is happening, abandoned B and have given Ence the keys to the castle.
There's still some util here for the retake, but it's a forward play coming through from Ence. This is a heads-up move, but oh wow, Inter is able to take down both of those aggressing Ence players, taking them just with 2 here, just now with Hades. Nice headshot onto Inters, but so many more players left to go, and it's not going to work out whatsoever for Hades. Gambit played it very patiently, and it worked beautifully.
Some small margins there, which didn't work out the way events the pot flash play. You know, it's a bit scary because if you run directly, you might run into some fire there, but a bit slow with the deep angle, which allowed the first kill, and the follow-up for the second one was huge for Gambit. Ence ending up in a 1 versus 4 after planting the bomb when Gambit made the wrong rotation there is not what I was expecting to see, but fantastic for Gambit. And now the pressure really rises. That 13th round is not what Ence wanted to see there. They were supposed to be on the catch-up. There are 2 variations of that smoke on Monster as well. One of them leaves a slight gap where you can try to play some shenanigans if someone gets too close to it. The other one smokes it off properly. 6-round lead now for Gambit. Ence will have some shortcomings. D-Hub with a Desert Eagle only. They have an AWP for Hades, however.
Ence looking to clear space around the A side of the map. There is Axel, who's on long, who can spot for anything towards long. However, there's very limited vision towards front bathrooms at the moment. You've got Naf, and he's just playing the jump spot game around Dice, so very passive indeed. And this is because we have the sewers control. But with Spinx's pick onto Hobbit there, that may destabilize the information game for Gambit, and they may have to start gambling in this position.
Yeah, they're on the receiving end of this denial of information now. Anthony lining up a jump throw pop flash for Exile, who starts to get into position. D-Hard's going to eat all of that. It's light info though. You've got a man with a deagle who could be lurking. Does that mean it's likely to VB? I'm not sure if Nafani saw much of them there, but Shiro's about to see something. More grenades flying into the site now. They will obscure his vision, in fact, but Nafani's repositioned to try and stop a bomb flight. There are some flashbangs which will slow things down. And Exile's position on long is going to be a huge problem for Ence. How do they plant the bomb here? They've got no lurker to deal with him whatsoever, and Nafani's got some cover as well. There's a gap in the smoke, no less. The long player taken down at the very least, but Nafani is still here. They know that. Got to be careful about his position. Spinx is waiting for him, but that headshot from Nafani is outrageous. Doto's got no cover, and he's about to get sandwiched. Shiro on the other side as well. 2 versus 3. Even if they get these 2 kills, it won't matter from Ence's POV, but Gambit will get both. So awkward for them on the A bomb site. Gambit now 2 rounds away from victory.
Yeah, sick defense there from Gambit. My God. Nafani in particular, just doing everything perfectly just to be a total nuisance. That flick actually on the play kind of, when he was kind of behind
APC,
Optimus.
nasty.
Yes, that was beautiful. That's not a frag you expect to see him get, but it just wins the round for them. Let's see the outside monster smoke, monster tunnel smoke, deep one.
There it is.
And we get the rush straight through it. D-Hard running through the flames. They are getting burned alive.
Oh my days. Look at the kill feed there. Snappy and Hades with a minute 35 in a 1 versus 5 made, 2 versus 5 made 4. But with Snappy gone now, Hades has got so much to do. This was a force buy, no less. Trying to keep Gambit off match point, but they've struggled to do that, Ence. Very tough draw for them here on a Legend stage. What can you really do now? Do they just try and hold on to this? Is there any point even pursuing, really? When you've got 1 more round to play and you've got a rifle?
It's so interesting because Ence is such a good team, and Big Gambit, they play so tight that it's just very... I keep finding myself using the word disciplined because they're very much focused on making sure that they play every edge correctly. And there's such a focus and attention to that level of detail. You can really see why Gambit is so good in this kind of sample that we're seeing on Overpass.
Unless he really wanted the AK there, I think he had to save. He would have had more grenades. He had two grenades on him and $500. So he maybe gets 4 nades there, but such is life. Maybe he wasn't allowed to save. Gambit with quite a few match points now here on Overpass. A vintage angle from Shiro. Connection but no kill. He'll get a 5 versus 4 regardless. This position looks so awkward for Exile, but he seems comfortable here.
Yep. 5 versus 3. Oh God, it's getting worse. That's the bomb down as well on Party, and that will certainly be communicated to the rest of the squad. They don't need to do much with that information though. It just really lets them know how the movement for the opponents needs to be. And of course, D-Hard's very weak, getting tagged earlier, crossing Fountain. And it just seems so pedestrian right now as far as Gambit's concerned. They are looking so clean. And it seems like Ence can't find any way in. Snappy clearing the bathrooms here. Has D-Hard in tow, but Shiro is ready to finish off the job with the AWP. The jump across, great connection, and D-Hard goes down as well. Nafani, who better than to take him down but Nafani. What a performance from Gambit. They just look so stable.
Yeah, that was super, super strong from them. And the T-size CIS Counter-Strike, it is so scary. Denial of information, the longer rounds, not really showing too much too early for the most part. It's just really, really hard. Feels so risky to try and get info, but we still saw that proactiveness from Ence, which is better than being completely passive, but still not enough versus the strength of Gambit. Their first match here at the 2021 Stockholm Major looks very promising indeed. And I think these teams which are having their first matches here in the Legend stage, we want to see form from them.